Thank you, Dreamcast VMUB, for bringing us in. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to SuperOldGameSaturday, the retro gaming show we put on every Saturday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for classic gaming goodness, badness, weirdness, anyiness. I'm Captain D-Track. I am joined by someone I've mentioned for quite a bit of time. I want to welcome the Crochet Nerd, a.k.a. the Crochet Nerd 64 to the program. Welcome to you, my fine sir.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Thank you for being here for the game we're going to see. And we have a very special show to this, by the way. Attention all plans of the Solar Federation. We have assumed control. Yeah, this is June 4th, 2022. On this day, 22 years ago, in the year 2000, saw the release of the game you're looking at on the screen. This is Space Channel 5. This came out from Sega and from United Game Artists for the Dreamcast. It later came out on the PlayStation 2 and later on the Game Boy Advance. There's a version of that that's there. Also, we have a little bit of a licensed music case. I'm sort of skipping past that. It's, Mexican Flyer by Ken Woodman and his Piccadilly Brass. I did not know until I was doing research on this game that it was a licensed track, but it's also something that has not necessarily been licensed much. It was licensed once. Well, actually, no, not really even that. Like, until this game came out in 1966, that was what it was. Mm-hmm. And even the guy who did the music, before his passing, unfortunately, in 2000, he said, like, he was surprised that they said, like, they wanted to license this. But yeah, we have this retro music game that is from Sega and developed by I'm going to say AM2, but like it's not AM2, I think it was AM7 of Sega, but then they were United Game Artists. It was Tetsuya Mizuguchi, who made games like Rez and Lumines and Medios and Tetris Effect, and yeah, this was one of his early ones. Though beforehand, he also did a lot of work on a lot of Sega racing games, like Sega Rally Championship and Manx TT Superbike. Are you familiar with some of those?
No, the only one that I've played since is Tetris Effect.
Okay, but yeah, like that was his early case. He did a lot of racing games usually, and we'll go on the spiel a little bit before we start, and also show what the tutorial is of this music rhythm game. But yeah, in his case, he was working with Sega at the time, and he was saying that, you know, I'm gonna make, or he was said like, I want to make, he was told to make a game that was themed for females, apparently, as far as like an audience. That's what I read. As far as it, and he said like, okay, I got this influence of this retro style. You're seeing it with the pastel colors on the screen, the nice blues and pinks there of Ooh La La, our main character is going to see, because we are set in the deep future, and with this game, what happens is that we're going to be going around and covering a alien invasion where they come down and they have forced people to dance. I love this so much. It is such a great game, and it's one of those that I said, this is why I'm having our guest here, because he knows and loves this game. You were doing what I usually do with people, which is saying that, you know, I'm usually describing all this weird shit to people, and they're saying, what kind of game is this? You were doing that to people, saying like, oh, you're this news reporter going around doing like dances with these aliens, they're candy colored, and you're seeing all these weird things, and some famous people in some ways going on in this game, and I'm sitting back and saying like, no, everything he's saying is true.
Yep.
But it is something that it is definitely unique, and it's creating, I think, a reason why the Dreamcast that this came out of was such an appealing system, and why people still love this game. And I guess it's still held on to, even though it's been a while since it's come around. Right, before we start the play of this game, which, by the way, how this is going to work is we're going to play through the whole game, and then we're also going to show off all the extra, you know, paths that you can unlock for the purposes. Also, we'll go on options to our device settings. Yeah, you have your button configurations because you're moving up, down, left, and right, and you're hitting A to shoot or chew the enemy, or hit on the B button for the humans, and then you have rumble because we have the jump pack inserted in the controller. You can change the button combinations if you want, but I don't remember, what was your wording when I told you about that?
Hell no.
Yeah, it's like, why would you want to?
No.
Just use D-pad, and you have to use D-pad. It's not run with the analog stick. So, like, feasibly I could hit the X button. Like, I don't know why you would necessarily, but
there's no reason.
Yeah, but there you go. But it does give you rebattable controls if you so desire. You also have stereo mono or in stereo, because that's the way to run. Player status for, excuse me, all of our ports. And character profiles. We look at these later. Hello, DollyFinn. Welcome to you. Good evening to you. Crochet Nerd and I are here for Space Channel 5 for the Dreamcast. Hope you're doing well. I know you mentioned last week when we played Midway Treasures 2 that you have some experience with this game. If that's not right, correct me, but also, or correct us that way, find me in this case, and just say, you know, whatever that might be. We're looking forward to hearing your memories and to share our memories with this game. And show off everything we can for it. We're definitely going to, and we'll show the tutorial as well. Fantastic. All right, well, thank you, and we appreciate your stopping by the show tonight for this 22nd anniversary celebration of Space Channel 5. And that's why we're doing it now. It's like, why 22nd anniversary? Because this is the only case was going to line up with a Saturday. So I'm like, oh, fine. If there was a Friday and I had to do a Friday show, then fine. For the purpose of this, that's the idea. I've been looking forward to this. Oh, okay. You going?
Just funny little thing I noticed as I'm reading over the tutorial.
What's that?
I found a typo.
Yeah, point it out. Please point it out. We love doing that.
Underneath the Dreamcast controller, they spelled directional with 2 N's.
Cool.
Stupid little thing.
Okay, I never really noticed that either, because
Nope.
you go into tutorial, you think like, oh, it's going to let you practice it. Basically, it says like, the basic controls are easy for this game. After that, it's down to your timing reflexes. But you're right. Thank you for pointing that out. And that is the beauty of this show. It's basically just, you're looking at a game, you're talking about it, even a game we've been playing for years, the both of us. So the thing that, okay, yeah, you're right. At the directional pad.
When this first came out, there's no way I would have even realized that. Because I don't think I even pressed into the tutorial button.
I'm curious to see. Oh my god, seriously. Okay, so yeah, we're getting that perspective too. It's like that's the other beauty, like the idea of the chat concept, like they'll react. The spelling. Actually, there also is a version of this on the PlayStation 2, which I do have, and what I will do is in a couple days, I'll put the PlayStation 2 game in. I will do an edit and see like what's the picture of what it looks like there, and did they make the same mistake potentially? Because
if it's a direct port, they may have.
well, it sort of is a direct port because on the PS2 they changed some of the stuff for the voice performances. The loading is a little different. Also, some of the tech is different, and I'll point that out. I know also because you played the second game, which is in the Space 5 collection, Space 5 edition. But you were saying that has a lot of button-like cases.
Yeah.
My controller died. Actually, I was doing the stuff for the test for the original game, but then now you got to plug it back in and it worked fine. But all right, fine. For this game, you're dancing around, hitting the A button when they say chew, or B when there's humans there, and dancing with copying the moves in the time with the music. That's the idea. Your rhythm case. So yeah. Thank you, of course, for showing up on the show, and let us know any memories you have on Space Channel 5 or anything else, and to my guest as well. I guess then let's get to that to start. We'll go to new game. What is your first memory of playing this game?
It was probably around the time that it released. I know we were talking about it a little bit before, where, saying it released back in 2000, I was about 10.
Okay.
And, I think prior to that, I think I really only ever played, like, DDR on the Boardwalk.
Okay.
So it was probably one of my first, like, rhythm games that I ever played.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's so campy and charming and just kind of stupid in the best ways possible, it was just one of those things that I kind of fell in love with.
That was my case, too. This was the first music game I played. I had a Dreamcast. I played this when it came out. Almost, it's 22 years to the day now for the U.S. It was 99 for Japan that it came out, but for the U.S., June 4th, 2000. So there you go. It was my introduction to that, and you're right. I just love the style of this, the atmosphere, and the great music of this, which was done by Naofumi Hatia, who did the music for Sega Rally Championship, as well as Golden X3 and Sonic Heroes, amongst others, and Kenshi Tokoi, who did the music for Daytona USA Deluxe, the Sonic Adventure games, and Yakuza 4. So yeah, there's definitely some big Sega talent, including Tetsuya Mizuguchi, who's mentioned he went on to make games like Rez and Lumines, but also at the time he was working with on Sega Rally and makes TT Superbike before this, and he had like a lot of members from Sonic Team and Team Andromeda who helped out. Team Andromeda being the team who made Panzer Dragoon.
Okay.
So it was definitely an interesting case of them going this, and I think this was like their first case of a game like this, where they said, make a game that's feasibly going to be friendly to female audiences to a certain extent, which is what we're going to get with our main character. See, as we see the Morolians, who are the aliens who are coming down, and they are forcing people to dance with their rays there. The Morolians, by the way, are named after Mayumi Moro, who is the artist of the game. So basically, he's kind of a little bit of a case. And there is Ulala, our main character. She is a space reporter for the Space Channel 5 television station. And she is voiced by Paula Ann DeMonico, or as she was known, Apollo Smile. She's actually a musician for songs like Dune Buggy, Love Comes Your Way, and she also did a couple albums, specifically Wrecking Ball, not the Miley Cyrus one, and Love Kisses and Grenades. And also, she did some voice work. She was Tracy in the OVA of Battle Arena Toshinden. She also did a lot of stunt work, weirdly enough, for Brittany Murphy in the movie Uptown Girls, and Kelly Ripa on Hope and Faith, and Alicia Cuthbert on 24. So, yeah, I found this interesting stuff as far as like the background of the voice performers in this. It's amazing.
A hell of a resume.
I know. I enjoyed hearing what both of you enjoyed about this game, and we're definitely looking forward to sharing more of our memories and yours as well, as we're now mo-loading. That wording is not in the PlayStation 2 edition. But that, we are ready to go, and we are in the spaceport. And here's the deal. We're walking along to a very Austin Powers-y style while we're given our news report, and we have to get a rating up to 15% by the end of the level, or our show is getting canceled. I love it so much. Get this jazzy music. It's
Just
so
this
awesome.
opening scene is great.
It's so iconic.
Let's see what you made of.
And that is Fuse, by the way. He is my program director. He is voiced by David Nowlin, who is Bixbyte in Crazy Taxi 3 High Roller, as well as Sam in the Sam and Max games. Modern ones of those. In all those modern ones of the past couple years, it's that. And yeah, with this, now we're dancing to the aliens' movements. Hit up, up, up in time. Up, up, up. Or if you miss, you'll have like a buzz and you'll lose your heart there.
Yeah, it doesn't really impact you until you actually start saving people, because then they start getting hypnotized again by the Marolians.
Right.
And you end up losing people who follow you. But it's not a huge impact until I think later in the game.
Right, definitely so. We'll see that.
Right.
Chew, chew, chew. And it is chew because of pronunciations for the Japanese voice performers of that version. You're like, yeah, it seemed like it was too difficult as far as that. That's what it's saying, but yeah, just keep hitting A button, beam would have it. Love this. Yeah, we do too. It's getting a little faster as we go down, up, down, chew, chew, chew.
Yeah, the amount of times they try to throw you off in this is ridiculous.
And when you get a clearance, when the heart's that way, you save the people, and they're joining your posse. Alright, thank you very much, Fuse. And I love how he gets into that, especially when I've learned, like, oh yeah, it's like, it's the guy's Bixbyte in Crazy Taxi 3, so it's like, okay, I know why I picked him as my character in that game.
Look out. They're gonna
So basically that's what you're doing. You're walking along, you're getting a posse going, you're covering the story, and as you hit everything right, you get your ratings going up, and now let's shoot! So I have to shoot the Marolians. They will survive my shots, but you hit left, chew, chew, chew. Alright, I hit it too early, but there you go.
To be fair, though, the timing in this game is extremely strange.
It is a little bit, but it's still better than, like, Parappa the Rapper, because that's... You have to be really on point with that.
Yeah, well, that's pretty unforgiving.
Oh, also, if you play that on PlayStation 3, it's gonna fail. You're never gonna be able to play that at all. Now they add people in to hit B.
Left. Shoot. Right. Shoot.
But yeah, when you see that and you see the stars over them, hit the B button in time.
Left. Shoot. Up.
Yeah, and when you save them, they're coming to your...
Up. Shoot. Shoot.
I remember when we were practicing for this, and I got a little confused with the A and B buttons because I'm not used to that, like, control scheme where the A button's on the bottom.
Right.
And I've been playing, my PlayStation for a while, so I always get the control schemes mixed up when I switch systems.
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially when I switch between PlayStation and Switch.
Yeah.
I always forget that my confirm button's on my right instead of at the bottom.
Yeah, they remind me of the Teletubbies, so DollyFinn says, yeah, I can gotta get that for sure. And I guess, is this game difficult? It can get difficult, especially if you're not in time with the music.
Yeah.
Right. Left. Shoot.
And also, as I said, the timing sometimes is a little weird, but, as I said, it's not too bad.
Up. Down. Up. Down.
As I said, compared to Parappa the Rapper, especially playing on PS3, we're playing on PS2, because otherwise we're not going to be able to get anywhere in that.
Right.
Shoot. Shoot. Shoot.
I just love all the stuff with the piano glissendos there. Yeah, right. Left. Chew, chew, chew. Except I missed that. That's my fault.
That's alright.
Down. 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 Shoot.
So I guess it can be a little difficult if you're not on your game, but not too bad.
Shoot. 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 Shoot.
We have 22 years of experience playing this game, so...
Yeah, right.
Left. 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 Shoot. Shoot.
And you were right, yeah, when you make misses, your party members get paralyzed a little bit.
Yeah.
Which I did not know until you told me that, so thank you
Yeah,
for
and then the
emphasizing
new
that.
ones that you pick up, they end up replacing the old ones.
So we got the Space Tourists, Ulala Banzai. Yeah, they are joining us from Japan. I guess Japan exists in, like 500 years from now, as it is. So they're coming here to take pictures and go along, and yeah, get ready for one last thing. Hit the A button beam when they say chew. Alright, this is our closing part for this shot.
Yep.
Here we go.
What was this set in? $25.99?
What?
The year that they set this in, it's like $25.99 or something, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we're coming back to this level again for some of the extra paths. We'll see that in one of the
Yeah.
cutscenes. But yeah, I think this one is.
You know what? It makes me curious. It kind of reminds me of those, like, how Disney used to put out those little things where it was like the kitchen of tomorrow or whatever.
Oh, like Tomorrowland?
Yeah, and like now we're in 2022, and it's like, oh, literally nothing is like like it was presented in those. So I'm curious in $25.99. First of all, pretty sure I'm not going to make it that long, but we'll see. I'm just curious to see,
And the tech
see
stuff.
how tech goes along the way.
I know, the people saying with Back to the Future Part 2 was when we're getting the hoverboards. We sort of have, but not completely.
Please, the way that they call hoverboards nowadays, that's a joke.
It's like hover skateboard kind of, but not really
It's like
hover.
if you have it going too long, it's going to catch on fire.
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
literally just a fire hazard.
Well, that's the challenge. Like, get to where you need to get before you get burned.
Up, shoot.
All right. By the
I
way, if you-
mean, to be fair, it's the same deal in a car.
that's true. Well, then again, we had the Ford Pinto. If you remember that one, it was like if you crash into it in the back of it, you know, the thing would explode just to put the gas tank.
I do remember.
Left, shoot, up.
Yeah, you never know what you're gonna get on this program. That's for sure. All right, there we go. I did only okay on that.
That was
Although she still says okay.
You'll make it up in the next fight.
If you do bad though, they will get kind of, you know, upset and they'll like kind of cover their like faces in shame, and the music will go off pitch, which you do love that touch.
Yeah.
And some way we actually are gonna have to show that off for some of the extra paths.
Oh, I'm sure in the second level we'll show it off.
Well, we'll
I'm
see.
a little rusty.
Well, we'll see that. But so far we're going okay. Let's shoot.
right. Shoot.
And even though you do have to pay attention to the sounds to that, is like it's something you still kind of get a sense of like where they are. Ooh. But then not in that case. Right, shoot, up, shoot, left, shoot, shoot. You just kind of like sing along with it, so it's like almost like a great musical on top of it.
Well, the whole reason I ended up bringing it up to our coworkers in the first place is because of one of the fights that we go on later in the game. Mm-hmm. It's since this game came out and I played it, you know, through multiple times. It's reserved permanent, a permanent place in my brain.
Oh yeah, no, I get that completely. I'm with you entirely on that. I was realizing I was doing test play while I was doing this during the week. And there we go. So yeah, I'm saving most of the people at least.
That was fabulous.
You were
Yeah, we are doing great so far. Yeah, we have our whole group of, you know,
You got most of the crew.
yeah, the crew. We're like, there you go. Like they're wanting. It's just like Austin Powers, as we mentioned, or maybe we mentioned. All right, but here is our. Yeah, here is our rival reporter, our main character. Or I said, watch my report on Channel 42. He's not a reporter.
Watch my report on
Love that. Yeah, this is Pudding. She is voiced by Simui Montano, who voiced Christmas Jones, the Denise Richards character in the game based on World Is Not Enough, interesting enough. And on top of that, she also had like extras and stuff like, I'm sorry, I wasn't going to listen to that because she was like extras in stuff like Minority Report and 10 Cloverfield Lane. Sorry, I wasn't listening to that. I need to listen, I'm sorry. But at least it's showing, yeah, we gotta take her down.
left. Shoot, shoot.
Left, left, shoot, shoot, shoot. So we have to stop her. Yeah, she's not getting our story.
Down. Right. Down, down. Shoot.
Oh, wait, no. I do love this part. Up, down, down, shoot, shoot, shoot. Also, she was a voice of a Sim. You're a big one on The Sims. It's The Sims Superstar, interesting enough.
That was one of the expansions. I don't think I ever played it.
Of the first one, yeah.
Yeah. I think I only had like 1 or 2 expansions on the PC when it first came out. Now, you know, being all the way up to Sims 4.
Yeah, indeed. I see another strange game on this channel. Yes, you do, Protorova. Welcome to you. It's myself and the Crochet Nerd here. We have Space Channel 5 for the Dreamcast, and we got the guitarist, and we got the guitar stuff going. It's awesome.
Here comes.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah, let us know your memories. Good evening to you, Protorova. Hope you're doing all right, and let us know your memories on Space Channel 5 if you played it. This wonderful game on the Dreamcast that came out this day 22 years ago. Here we go.
Here we go.
Chew, chew. Okay, I missed it, but I'm glad I get to show it missing.
Does she,
Stay tuned.
I don't think she's all broken up about it though.
She's not broken up, but honestly, Fuse is more annoyed, saying like, "Yeah, girl, you got to work on your shooting. Like, what part of Chew did you not understand?" And sometimes, like, there's one case where you don't have shooting, and he'll still say that line. It's like, wait, which one? I did not have the Dreamcast. Yeah, it was also on the PlayStation 2, and there was also versions on the Game Boy Advance. That was Ulala's Cosmic Attack, which is kind of a demake of this.
I never played that.
It's also ridiculously expensive. It's like $150.
Of course it is.
You could buy the PS2 and the Dreamcast games for less than that one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, those are the 2 that I have, so.
They're the 2 I have as well.
Yeah.
It was interesting to see them running that on the Game Boy Advance anyway. Yeah, this is Coco Tapioca. This is our boss here.
I'm curious to see how the VR one plays, because I know that they released that, but I had never really heard about it before, you know, recently.
Yeah, there was Ulala's dance stage. It was in something or something. I'm trying to remember the name of that. Down, chew, chew. Yeah, we gotta follow Coco Tapioca's moves.
Shoot, shoot.
Yeah, just don't lose all your stuff as far as your hearts, or you're gonna lose. And yeah, it's not good. I gotta do this. Whoops. Yeah, I feel like I hit left, but yeah, as long as we hold the 15% for our ratings, we'll be fine. Okay, but at least that shows, like, yeah, I never saw that actually animation before.
Down, hit, hit, hit. Up, right, left, down, shoot, shoot.
There you go.
Yeah, back on track.
Yeah, sometimes what happens in this game.
That's the whole thing with the rhythm games. Like, it's some of them you just have to really focus on, and with the way that these speed up, it's you really need to pay attention to where you're going.
Down, up.
But also when you do misses, I'll say this in just a second.
Yeah.
Right, left, down, down.
My point. You have to focus on what you're doing.
When you do misses, sometimes I found out in this game, and actually saw this before. Some of the dance patterns will change if you make misses. So it
to
doesn't
make it easier.
in some cases, I think. I mean, like for example, when we're doing with Pudding, there's like one of her moves. If you get it perfect, it didn't play like one of those, like the down, down, down thing. Like there's the second one of those. I got that wrong. They played a different dance.
Gotcha.
I'll show you in the
Yeah,
playback
because
of
normally
that.
she goes faster on that one.
But now we got to shoot the things that came out of its mouth. Shoot, right, shoot, shoot. And they do give you some visual cues, so you can kind of go about that way too.
Yeah, I always like that about this.
Yeah, I know. It just feels so cohesive. Especially the mix of, like, FMV sort of with the CG, which is, I think, the idea of, like, how this is designed or programmed. Yeah, we are getting our next form.
I mean, you're in good shape because you're already 2% more than what you need to level.
Yeah, so I mean, they usually punish your mistakes more than you making, wins.
Yeah.
Right, shoot.
Oh yeah, if you do well, it only goes up by like a fraction of a point.
Or sometimes not completely, but we're almost at the end, and now we get one of my favorite lines of, "Look, it's freaking out!" Oh yeah, I love it so much. And this is the end, now we gotta shoot it in the mouth.
It's so campy.
I know!
I love it.
Up, shoot, shoot, yeah, just shoot in the mouth. And yeah, they are speeding it up. Especially now.
Left, shoot, shoot, shoot.
Oh.
Up, shoot, shoot, shoot.
There we go.
Yeah.
Alright, we got him. Or her. I guess it's Kokotepu as a female that way.
I mean, you know, it's an alien. So
Here we go.
who's knows?
Space Channel 5! Oh yeah. And that is the end of the spaceport. Our first report. Yeah, you get your minimum view, you get it to what they wanted, which is 15%, you're good. If we were less than that, we'd be canceled. This will give you a perspective of what the max view rating you got throughout the level was, as well as hostages you rescued and what they expect you to have, but it's fine. As far as expected, we got 17. We are in good shape.
Nice.
And okay,
Okay.
cut. There we go. I do love that. And with that, at the end of it, you do get a save case, assuming you pass the level. Yeah, I have a bunch of save files here. This one down here is where I'm going to be showing off all of the extra stuff. This is the one that we were doing test playthrough on a couple weeks ago, and then here is also the extra mode stuff for that. Yeah, we can run anyone we want. Let's do this one.
Okay.
And with that, yeah, hit the B button to go. Weird enough, on the PlayStation 2, the speed of saving is, I think, slower, but in some cases the loading is a little faster, sort of, kind of. But as I was mentioning, on the PlayStation 2 version, there's cases where some of the background for, like, the visuals got unsynced. Like, for some of the cutscenes, and also even, like, for the Coco Tapioca battle. I remember I had it where it's, like, it seemed like it was also kind of washed out, weirdly enough.
Okay.
Despite the fact that, yeah, the PS2 is a little more powerful in some ways, but not in others. Particularly, like, the way they, it's pretty aliased in the PS2. But not horrible, but still feasibly. If you can get this on the Dreamcast, I'd say get it there, but then again, the PS2 version does give you the sequel on top of it, which was Space Channel 5 Part 2, which was on the Dreamcast in the US, or not in the US, it was on Dreamcast for Japan, but PS2 is where we got it, and then the PS3 and the Xbox 360 later.
That was literally the only reason why I bought the game on the PS2.
That's why I bought it,
was
too.
to get the sequel.
Me too.
Because I already had it on Dreamcast. I was like, well, it's just a happy bonus.
And it was $20 when it came out, so that was the other case.
I think I got it relatively cheap too.
So that was the idea. And yeah, that is your idea with this game. As I mentioned, the thing with the ADX deal with the visuals. I know they're doing a lot of that mixture with, like, the CG of the characters and then also, like, almost sort of full motion video a little bit. And I think this took up a lot of space on the GD-ROM, which is the disc of the Dreamcast, by the way, where it's like 99% of the disc was filled completely for it. So yeah, they were definitely pushing this thing for sure. I've seen some of the video going a little off sync to it, but still, I don't really have much of a problem because honestly, this game just has such a style to it. It's so much fun,
Yeah.
and it's strange. Like, yeah, whenever you're saying this is a strange game, it's like, that is the beauty of it, and why it's so awesome. We were going to our next report. You said you want to do the next report?
Yeah.
All right, so here is part 2 of Ooh La La's Swing and Report Show. The SOS on the spaceship. So yeah, they are sending out an SOS for all of you police fans. Alrighty. Fitting, because, like...
I caught that.
Well, also the idea that I know when they were making this, they were heavily inspired by, like, 80s, you know, music videos, like, especially Sledgehammer by Peter Gabriel.
True.
For that.
Also, I forgot that they actually boost your view rating to the max that they expected you to do in the last report if you don't get there.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, I remember now.
I'm in the cockpit.
Sorry to spring this on you, but you got some aliens.
Yeah, we do, but, yeah, he's got no problem taking him down.
There we go.
Yeah. Let's shoot.
Let's shoot. Hit, up, hit, left, hit. Right, shoot, up, shoot, left, shoot. Up, hit, up, hit, right, hit. Left, shoot, up, shoot, right, shoot. Up, hit, right, hit, left, hit. Up, shoot, right, shoot, left, shoot.
Yeah, good job.
Off to a good start.
Yeah, definitely so.
Left, hit. Right, shoot, up, left. Up, hit, right, hit, left, hit. Up, shoot, right, shoot, left, shoot. Up, hit, right, hit, left, shoot. Right, shoot. Right, hit, left, hit. Right, shoot. Left, shoot. Up, hit, right, hit, left, hit. Up, shoot, right, shoot, left, shoot.
There you go.
All right.
I mean, yeah, sometimes it gets to that case, like, hey, you kind of stumble, although I'm kind of glad you did, because the thing about this, like, when you're doing rescue of the hostages, sometimes you actually have to intentionally miss in order to get some of them, and it's surprising. We'll go on that later.
Yeah, you said to get some of the character profiles and stuff you had to miss, and I never knew any of that.
I'll go into that later, because that's going to be the later case. But yeah, you have your case here. We got the spaceship captain. We got to save him. All right, I take him out.
Whoops. I got him mixed up again.
Uh-huh.
Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Up, left, up, left, up, left.
Our ratings are going down.
You got this.
It's
Down. Up, hit. Right, up, shoot. Left, left, right, right, shoot, shoot. Left, left, right, shoot, shoot. Left, left, right, right, shoot.
Yeah, it gave me a hard one. By the way, if you do run out of hearts, it means you don't have a rescue. But hey, at least we're going to show off the idea of how they're going to get, you know...
I knew we were going to be able to show it in this one. I'm so out of practice.
It's hard. This is a hard one, though. And
Yeah.
honestly, I'll say this. This is not an easy game. DollyFinn, you're saying how difficult is this game. I mean, it can be difficult if you get out of a rhythm, and sometimes it can be hard for that to happen, you know?
At the beginning, I literally mixed up my left and right, and that happened when I was practicing too. It drives me nuts.
No, I get that.
Say Jew.
Hit, hit, hit. Here we go. Shoot, shoot.
Hey,
Yeah,
you-
that's right. Go down, bastards.
I was gonna say you did better on did better than I did on the second part of the first report. So yeah, we're all in good shape.
Get them back.
Yeah, there you go. And that's the satisfying thing right there. You feel so satisfied. It's like, yeah, I might have been out of a loop, but then you get back into it and you're just.
I
all
try
right.
to get the special ones if I can, but that spaceship captain is tough.
He is tough, yeah, because of the movements, and we're gonna see that as we go along. Yeah, we are in the cafeteria and we got a news flash running here.
Let's shoot. Up, hit, right, hit, up, hit. Left, shoot, right, shoot, up, shoot. Up, hit, left, hit, right, hit, hit. Up, shoot, left, shoot, right, shoot, shoot. Left, right, hit, left, hit, up, hit. Right, shoot, left, shoot, up.
So they try to mix it up by mixing Marolians and people, so you have to
Yeah.
actually press A and B in the same movement.
Oh yeah.
Right, shoot.
Whoops, I did that out of order.
No, it's happened to me too.
Up, shoot, right, shoot, 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 shoot. Right, hit, left, hit. Right, shoot, left, shoot, shoot. Up, hit, up, shoot.
I did that. Don't even try it.
I know it's hard that one,
This
still
game
did good.
punishes you
and that's where
relentlessly.
I guess that's where that could kind of come from. Also, they say there's like, hey, the Marolians start shooting from the left, but I've never seen that actually happen.
No, neither have I, and that's why I don't even pay attention to it. I love
Alright.
how I have the waitress in the back.
That's true, but you do have the waitress here ready to go. We are going to save the Space Diva, who looks a lot like Don Summer. I'm getting sense.
Shoot, shoot, left, left, left. Hit,
You're in the groove now. Hi, y'all, Lekverse.
Up, 2, 2. Hit, up, hit. 2, up, 2. Hit, up. 2, 2, up. Hit, down, down, hit. 2, 2, 2. Down, down, 2.
That was flawless, my friend. Good evening to you, Lekverse again. Yeah, the Crochet Nerd and I, Crochet Nerd 64 as he is also known, is with me tonight for Space Shuttle 5 for the Dreamcast. Good to see you tonight. We just got the Space Diva saved. Let us know your memories on this one. We absolutely love this game. We're celebrating its 22nd anniversary because it came out on this day 22 years ago in the year 2000. As we're walking through the groovy cafeteria or mess hall.
Here comes your pirate.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, do not adjust your set. This is intended.
This must be that pirate broadcasting station.
My name is
Jaguar.
Yeah, and he is voiced by Jeff Kramer, who voiced Seaman in the Seaman game on the Dreamcast, and he was also Superman in Superman the Man of Steel on the Xbox. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Up,
Shoot,
up, 2.
up, shoot, shoot,
Up, 2, 2.
up, shoot, shoot, shoot,
Up, 2, 2, 2.
up, shoot, shoot, shoot. Right, left, down.
Up, 2, 2, 2. Right,
His is really hard.
Yeah.
Shoot, shoot, shoot. Right, left, down, 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 down.
up, 2. Right,
Down. Ooh. Whoops.
I had that problem doing my test too.
2, 2, 2.
Shoot, shoot, shoot.
2,
Shoot, shoot, shoot.
2, 2, 2.
Just the one shoot there for the purpose of that.
They try to throw you off. It's
Right.
insane.
But yeah, we did get
Did I get the Jazzman?
yeah, is the Jasmine testifying? I think, well, no, you go through this once to get the first one, you have to go through the second time to get the other one, I believe.
Yeah, there it
we do
is.
have the Jasmine, so yeah. I never played this game, but I played the sequel. Yeah, Space Shuttle 5 Part 2, we were mentioning that, which is on the PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, and Xbox 360, and PC as well.
Go to the observation.
And we're going on the observation platform next.
Oh man, there's still more. Use your A-beam if you hear them say shoot.
Here we go.
Here we go. 2, 2.
There we go. See, you're doing that better than I did in Report 1, so thank you for that.
Redemption. That's what it's all about.
No, but that's also what it is. And yeah, Lekverse, thank you for letting us know as far as that with Space Shuttle 5 Part 2. I think if you like that one, you like this one for sure, and let us know your memories of that, as well as other games of Tetsuya Mizuguchi's, who made Tetris Effect, which I know you mentioned the VR version, and there's a VR version of this, or a different take on this anyway. But yeah, we got to take care of that. Yeah, bye-bye, Jaguar. See you later.
I love this.
Sending something else.
Yeah.
Marshmallow?
Is that a marshmallow?
Yes, it is. This is
it.
Moralina. She's the dirty dance bot. And that guy thought it was a good idea to bring the children on a field trip, but yeah, we gotta save them, so let's dance.
Hit, hit, hit. Right. 2, 2. Hit, hit, hit. Left. 2, 2, 2. Up, down. Hit, hit, hit. Up, down. 2, 2, 2. Right. Hit, hit, hit. Left, right. 2, 2, 2.
Also, a controversial opinion, the voice acting in this game would make Mega Man X7 a masterpiece. I don't know if I'd go that far. I think this is way better voice acting personally, but anyway, we'll go to that.
Left, up. 2, 2, 2. Right, down. Hit, hit, hit. Right, down. 2, 2, 2.
I had to hit B when
Yeah.
they have the children, so I
Right.
don't,
Up.
whoops.
2, 2, 2.
No, just so you feel a loop, you're doing good.
Hit, hit. Down. 2, 2, 2.
Good job. Yeah, we got it exploding that way. I don't know, do you want to take that, think the voice acting is not that great? Honestly, we love it. I'm sorry.
I love the voice acting in this. It's so damn campy. It's
I think that's what it is. I mean, that's also, you could say, of Mega Man X7 to some degree. But yeah, the gravity's off, so we gotta take care of them.
whoops.
Hit. Left.
Well, that sounds really robotic. Although I think that's part of the reason why. It's like, hey, you're doing the stuff for that.
Jeez, where is my mind?
Hit, up, hit, hit. Right, 2, left, 2, up, 2, 2. Down, hit. Down, 2. Right, hit. Right, 2.
Actually, though, to answer your question on, or the thing about her being robotic, maybe the idea of Apollo Smile, who's the voice performer of her, she was more as far as music, so maybe that's why? the thought it might be, but look, we love it. I'm sorry. But either way, like, that's the name of the game. We love that. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Okay.
Down, two, left, two. Up, hit. Left, two. Out, hit. Up, two. Down, hit.
Oh, that was a kid. Whoops.
It's hard to tell sometimes, though.
You can't see the stars above their head half the time.
Which is why the sequel, I know, put in, instead of a chew, they give you hey as far as the other button.
Yeah, I do remember they changed the command.
Yeah, except, it's slimy. Oh, so slimy.
Out, hit.
Yeah, sure way out.
Hit, hit. Up, two. Out, hit. Up, two. Out, hit. Up, two. Out, hit. Out, hit. Up,
Two. Okay.
hit. Out, hit. Up, two. Up, two. Out, hit. Up, two. Out, hit. Up, two.
There you go, got it way out. Awesome.
What was the minimum?
37%, and the minimum is 25%.
Oh, alright. It did much better on that than I expected.
Yeah, definitely so. Good job, my friend. Yeah, to go into that with Uala's voice to that, here's the thing, here's the thing, so you said you played the sequel to this, what first would you play that on? You played it on the PlayStation 2, perhaps? Because if you did, the first game is in that, and they do, I think, change the voice of Uala in that version, that second one. Actually, sort of in this one on the PS2, like when we were in the spaceport, you know, she says, like, let's go. They changed that line to, like, her saying, let's go. So I don't know if they couldn't get Apollo Smile for the voice for the second game, or for this collection. But as I said, like, the idea, like, the robotic perspective, maybe the thought also is that, you know...
I mean, she's giving instructions, so it kind of makes sense in terms of when you're actually playing.
I guess so. I mean, I know where he's coming from. I played on the Xbox 360. Okay. So, which was, because the first one was not on the 360 or the PS3. But, I mean, because I know maybe where he's coming from, because, like, what's your familiarity with the Parappa the Rapper games?
Not too much, except for the Onion tutorial.
Oh, Master Onion? Yeah. Kick, punch, it's all in the mind.
That's literally it.
But although in that game, and I know where he's getting at, she is still played by Apollo Smile, the sequel. Okay, so, I might have missed that. As far as, there's some clips in the PS2 version of this game, which I don't think it's the same clips from this, so, okay, she's still in that for it. But, I mean, I know where he's getting at, because, like, when you do misses in that case, you get the case of, like, when saying, like, you know, kick, punch, or kick, punch? He's, like, sort of like a question, whereas in the case of this one, it's more just the other, he's like, when I miss, or something, and same with the sequel, sort of, as well. Alright, yeah, I was stopping to that, because, like, yeah, let's get the save going.
I mean, they're very clear when it's wrong.
So at least there's that, and we're just running Jump Pack on this Dreamcast version, you do have a rumble saying, like, yeah, you fucked up. Pretty much, but also you do get, they kind of syncopated to the music still, as far as it. But yeah, that's definitely the case as far as, well, although, go back to Jeff Kramer, one thing I didn't mention with him, when we played Shadow the Hedgehog, he voiced Omega in that game, which I did not know either. Actually, I put his name when I edited it, but they did have him for the voice and some other stuff. And I mentioned with putting, Sumui Montano, and, well, fine, there's a couple other characters to see later as far as that. But yeah, alrighty, so yeah, the Morolians are still saying, like, yeah, you know, we missed this case, we sent all these robots or all these aliens out to take care of everybody, but yeah, nothing happens. Yeah, they got their strongest dancing robot at the center of the base, but it's like, yeah, they are no match for Uala, are they?
I love how they put things unnecessarily in quotes.
I like that too. It gives that nice, perspective of,
It's like we put our most powerful dancing robot, like, well, what else are you gonna call it?
Well, they are an alien race specifically for the future, like 500 years in the future, so who knows? Maybe there's something that they considered something different. I mean, this is also the time when Futurama was still around, the first element of Futurama, and there's a revival of it soon. But just the idea that, that futuristic idea of, like, what's the future gonna look like? Like you said, what's 500 years gonna look like from now, and how much is this game gonna be looked at, seeing as it's on point or not?
I mean, I guess maybe because they're speaking in their Morolian language, there's no actual translation for those words, and maybe that's why they're in quotes, because it's the closest I can get.
I guess so, although they do know, like, the up, down, left, right case.
Yeah, best not to think about it.
And I guess that's the idea maybe of this as far as the logic was like, this is not a game you question the logic of so much, but it's one that you just revel in.
This entire thing is just based on suspension of disbelief.
But that's a great case of it. Well, yeah, we're going to catch the scoop going into the asteroid field. So yeah, any of your Star Wars takes of that, yeah, we're going out that. And getting this insanely jazzy 60s number, which I do love that so much. And just the style of it is so good. As you get the now Mo loading.
I noticed in the last, on the spaceship, she actually had a different outfit than,
Galaxy greetings, boys and
than I
girls.
remember
We
her
got
having.
Slightly. Yeah, they do kind of change it up a little bit. I know the sequel doesn't have more.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we gotta get this
It's a nice little
story.
touch.
I know. Left, shoot.
Whoops.
Yeah, as I say, I get the sense you're right, it is a little off to that.
right, shoot.
Oh, that was my fault.
Left, shoot, up, shoot.
Ah, come on.
Up, shoot, right, shoot.
Oh, come on. Alright, yeah, I'm fine. I'm the one doing bad now. Especially go faster. Right, shoot you left, shoot you up, shoot. There we go.
Left, shoot, right, shoot.
There we go. Now we're getting fire. But there's Jaguar. He's causing us trouble.
Right, shoot, left, shoot.
We get to shoot, pudding out of the way.
I mean, there's something mildly satisfying about that.
Oh yeah, no, to get the scoop for this story is like, yeah, we're gonna shoot her out of the way, but here's Jaguar again.
Shoot. Right. Shoot.
You know what it is, too? With his voice acting,
Uh-huh.
I can't fully understand him. So getting those directionals correct is just not the easiest thing. And plus, he doesn't necessarily point in the directions. Like
Yeah,
you
he
would think.
doesn't.
He just, like, throws his arm out.
Right.
So, it's... I don't know. He's a tough one for me.
Well, I get that idea. I guess that goes to what Alec was saying, like the robotic sound, but also the idea, like, because of that, like, hey, it's kind of hard to tell that with a voice. I can get that maybe more. By the way, there's going to be a little of a flashing light warning here, but the game is going to tell you that. So, yeah, we'll not be like Wizard of War. I'm going to fucking kill you like I did last week. Yeah, so turn off the room light and keep a safe, or turn on and keep a safe distance.
You know what? Credit to Sega for doing that, though, because I can't really think of any other games that did that.
Oh, Skies Arcadia.
Okay, any other games that I played?
Well, we will do that, but also, because Skies Arcadia is even more intense than this one.
I don't doubt that.
Oh, yeah.
But she's hypnotized.
Shoot.
Yeah, it's going to be close on my case.
Down.
It was up, right, down, right?
I missed it
I know.
completely. My bad.
Right.
Left.
Okay, there we go. Now we're good.
I love how they got this like club techno going.
I love it,
right?
yes.
And with like the trippy '60s vibe.
It fits.
Thanks.
Okay, so we just
So,
do.
whoops.
I'd love to see you play Rez. Yeah, we want to do Rez so
She
badly.
goes, thanks anyway.
I know.
Like you're not any help.
I know. But we did save her. We didn't, miss that one. But yeah, we definitely want to do Rez. Like, we mentioned Rez for sure. That's going to go on the review request pile. We were playing on the 360, by the way, when we do that.
Left. Shoot. Right.
You ever play Rez?
Never. From what you tell me, it sounds very much like something that I would like. If it's all based on like, you said it's like a predecessor to Child of Eden.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So I mean, it's the type of game that I would like.
Oh yeah, actually, you want to call dibs on that? Feel free to call dibs, and we can do it. Yeah, definitely. That's good on the Masters. We've mentioned Rez more than once on this show, and we talk Mizuguchi stuff. So yeah, we'll definitely do Rez, no question. Because ask you shall receive in this program.
I'm guessing there's more than one or two flashing light warnings on that one.
A little bit. Yeah. Here's Merolian Monroe, by the way. So yeah, talking about the retro vibe.
Yeah, this was always a strange one for me. It's like you're fighting a TV.
I love that though.
Oh yeah, it's totally fun.
Shoot. Down. Shoot.
As far as the flashing light thing, just to go into that for Rez, it is, but I mean, I don't know if it's even as intense as some other games feasibly, but I think actually every game I think of Mizuguchi's, except for maybe like Sega Rally Championship and Mix GT, as I mentioned, and also Sega Touring Car Championship. He usually will have like a warning to that, just because of, I think because it's more trippy visuals. And maybe Luminous, yeah, which was on the PSP, and it's also on a bunch of the systems. That's funny, you played Luminous.
Never even heard
It's a
of
puzzle game. It launched with the PSP. It's also a bunch of systems. That's a great game. I'll definitely want to show that.
Up. Left. Up.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'll definitely want to show that at some point.
This was a clever design.
I know.
I gotta say.
The fact that it's like, you know, this, you know, the color palette of them, like the Teletubbies, like DollyFinn was saying, but also just the idea that you just follow the path, so you kind of don't necessarily need to pay attention too much to the audio to some degree, so as a visual cue, like your tail on top of that. Which the game generally is good at, which makes the other cases where it's not a case of that, except here. Up, chew, right, up. Yeah, that's where we're getting a little more complicated.
Up, right, up, shoot.
As I said, it's also just great to kind of just say that out with the game, which is amazing.
It's helpful.
Yes.
Because once they get into the more complicated patterns, good luck remembering it unless you have like a steel trap.
Yeah, I mean, but this... yeah, with my case, I forgot to hit the shoot at the beginning.
Yeah, that's the only thing you really have to listen for.
Up, shoot.
Still, yeah, we're doing okay. To take care of Morelli and Monroe there, or getting close to it. Yeah, they are separate entities.
Left, shoot, right, shoot, up, shoot. Right, shoot, left, shoot, up, shoot. Right, shoot.
Such a dick move. They have them moving in the background just to throw off your direction input. It's subtle, but it's enough to throw you off.
I like that, though. It's like these small things you mentioned with Jaguar.
Shoot, left, shoot, up, shoot.
There we go, just got that.
Well, that's the thing. I'm sure I'm not the only one who's ever, like, been screwed up by something like that.
No, I don't think so. I think... Hi, everybody. Hi, Edwack. Good to see you. Yeah, the Crusader64 and I are here playing Space Shuttle 5. Good to see you. Hi, everybody. Yeah, we are so happy to see you tonight. Let us know all of your memories on Space Channel 5 for the Dreamcast. We're playing it tonight for its 22nd anniversary. Thank you for showing up on the program. Okay, I forgot the up.
Yeah, you get enough hearts.
Yeah, we're fine.
Left, shoot, right.
Later on, that's not going to be happening, but yeah, we'll see that later.
Oh, they're fighting.
Yeah, watch the monitors, so you got to pay attention when they get people on it. Hit the B button.
Left, shoot.
Like that.
Talking about The Sims before. You want to talk about Sims pre-models from, like, the first game?
I know.
Jesus.
Well, yeah, this was out at the same time The Sims was about. It was like,
Yeah.
I think it was 2000 for both games.
Left, shoot.
Somebody's been dipping in that resource pool.
Well, thinking Sims was huge at the time, especially. I mean, fine, it still is, as far as, like, the newer games on top of that, but... There we go. Like I said, yeah, there's kind of the pause there. Sometimes getting that pause is the tough part, but yeah. Edward, good to see you again. Let us know any memories you have with Space Channel 5 or any other music games of your interest. Actually, I know you have a big one on Guitaru Man. I didn't have a Dreamcast because of a poor unfortunate child. I'm sorry to hear that. This made my week because I had my grandmother's service this week. Yeah, Alec first, I know we went on to that last week.
What's that on?
Again, I've been thinking of you all week as far as your losses, but thank you for coming in, and glad you're enjoying the show as we're seeing a bit of a plot detail. The television is, making these Marolians go crazy. We got some flashing lights going, but
Wait, you mean there's a plot in this game?
yes. Well, especially when we get to the second one.
Yeah.
Because the second one definitely is going to go into that. But yeah, the aliens came down and are forcing everybody to dance, but the question is really the why. So that's the idea. Is it like, Alec, first, thank you for coming to the show, and thank you for adding something to it, or adding a lot to it. All of you are. Everybody in the chat tonight. We've got a nice, crowd tonight. And we saved the Marolians. They are back to normal, but this place is coming down. We've got to get our way out. It's not going to be a long game, but there's going to be a lot of extra stuff that we're going to be able to show off to get a good start. And by the way, still the flashing light warning, the game will give you that during play, which is unique.
I feel like this is more of a flashing light warning than the first part of it, though.
Probably. Also save them from being burned to death.
That's, I find this so funny.
I just love that jazz beat, that
Yeah.
You don't feel down doing this, like... But yeah, then they die, fine, I'm sorry. I couldn't save them.
You killed them!
The hardest one, though, is coming up to get, because he's so quick. The Rover Boy, okay, I can't believe I got him.
Got him. That's it.
That's a hard one, just because it's so fast, you miss him, but he comes right here to help you. Yeah, you get faster with the shooting.
You go.
Alright, I think we were done.
Just when you think it's over.
Well, just
It's never over.
Where the brainwash signals come
Well,
from. Looks like its frequency is the same as channel.
yeah, they're saying the brainwashing signal of what we saw with Marillion Monroe here is coming from Channel 5.
Plot twist.
Yeah, it kind of is, really. When I first played this, I thought, like, wait a second, what's that all about? All right, we
so
are
you're
set.
2% away from the expected view. That's great.
Yeah, not bad. So,
And you got a 100% rescue rating.
yeah, that was good. Yeah, that's a surprise. I did not expect that to happen. Because, yeah, some of those rescues in this thing are insanely hard. When we see live footage, you guys, on the Dance Dance Revolution mats.
It's been a while.
Well, to which I'll answer that question this way. We'll have to figure out. I have Dance Dance Revolution Ultramix on the Xbox. The thing about that is that since there's some licensed content stuff, we're gonna have to feasibly dance around that. But in that game, I know actually they have yeah. Thank you for that rim shot, my friend. That's well, fine. That's not the only reason you're here because you love this game. To answer that question, I have that version. We can show it because there are songs that are from other Konami games. They actually have like a remix of you know, if you play Metal Gear Solid 2.
No.
Yell Dead Cell, the song that, and you get that horn going. I'm gonna have to play that for you. At some point, we're gonna do Metal Gear Solid 2 because I know I first wanted to see that. I want to show you Metal Gear Solid 2 is an amazing piece of music for it, but it's very jazzy. It's like this kind of techno trippy thingy. So feasibly, we could get that going. The thing is that that's an original Xbox only game. I have a dance mat for it, but it also does play with the controller. Actually, there was 4-player mode for that and had online, but it does not have online anymore because the original Xbox is turned off.
I was gonna say, like, it's been a while since that's been active, I'm sure.
Well, the PlayStation 2 is the same case, and actually, you know what, actually, I could talk to Nocturne about this because she's a big one on Dance Dance Revolution. She has them on the PS2, but she has this massive, I'll put a picture of this in the YouTube site to visualize this. She's like the metal one, the big-ass one, where it's like the real one. It's like, I think it was Red Octane who released it.
I have a friend who has that.
And I think it is something that connects to all the systems, because let's go into that before we go on the next stage. That's why I'm kind of staying here. You know, let's do the save on this.
Yeah.
But, because there was Dance Dance Revolutions, a bunch of them on the PlayStation 2. There was a couple on the Xbox. There was the 3 Ultramix games. There's also Dance Dance Revolution, or not Dance Dance Revolution. There was Karaoke Revolution Party, which is by Harmonix, who made Rock Band. It has a dance and sing mode, so you can do singing and dancing at the same time. And I have that game.
That's insanity.
I know it is insanity, but they do have that to it. And there's also a Dance Dance Revolution game on the GameCube, which was on it was the Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix.
Yes.
I used to play Dance Dance Revolution Ultramax on the Xbox. Says Nikki. Oh, hi Nikki. Good to see you tonight for the program.
Nikki!
Okay, so you have your perspective on Space. Oh, fine, not Space 5. Fine, you're having it now. Nobody's gonna ever say to you, "I don't know what Space 5 is." Like, no, yeah, Captain D-Trag and Crochet Nerd 64 have been playing it for us. But yeah, Dance Dance Revolution. So yeah, we'll see what we could do. That's an idea, and hey, we'll make any viewer request work as much as we can work it. So for sure, thank you for that. Yeah, we got a lot of cases where everybody's very happy to see that.
I just saw it from back here.
Yeah, he's paying attention to the chat as well. Oh my god, yeah. Welcome to everybody, by the way.
I can't.
Which, by the way, you're going to have to sort of because, yeah, Report 4 is yours because I know there's parts of Report 4 you love.
This fight, man. I'm
That being
waiting for it.
That being said, though, I mean, I know you're got
Let's
no
see how
problem.
well I do on this one.
Yeah, but here's the deal, yeah. The Remorlians are mad that they got tricked. Yeah, he's like, don't ask me, I just work here.
I mean, that's my general disposition at work. Mm-hmm. I just work here. It's fine.
Or the
what's
or like the
going on.
clerk's take of, you know, I'm not even supposed to be here today.
Yeah.
But all right, fine. So here's the thing: is like they're like, why were we brainwashed? We're the Channel 5 case that we now know that's where they've been the whole time. They got their plan. They're gonna use like theories to do that. But like, yeah, there's the walk coming up. It's like, yeah, they're in trouble. Step 1: they made a robot to end all robots. We will see that a little later. He's sort of okay with that, kind of.
Wait.
But we were just making the walk. I love this
Posse's
shot.
growing. What? Here we go.
I just love that shot and just the way they kind of
It's
set it
cool.
up. I know, and that's the whole game. But yeah, have a look at what this is all about. Yeah, I love how they do that point. It's like, yeah, the door's opening and the evil in the galaxies we revealed. We are going to take care of it on report for our final report of the game. But
It's just badass. That whole.
I know.
That whole disposition of everything. Like.
I know the way they set that up. But all right, so yeah, we are Channel 5 Studios with the final report. We got more stuff that's coming up for the game, so yeah, stay tuned, everybody. Or she's gonna say, groove evening, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, so this is Chief Blank, by the way. He is the leader of Channel 5, and he is the guy behind it.
He's the big man.
Yes, he is. He is voiced, by the way, by Gary Martinez, who is Admiral Sarn on in Star Wars Rebel Assault 2. And he's the police officers in Jet Set Radio Future. Interesting enough as well.
There it is.
There you go. Has anyone seen the Iron Man animated series? I have not. Have you? I think it's on Disney Plus. I think. I'm curious about that. Then, yeah. What about it? To talk about it as we go along, taking down Chief Blank.
I realized I shook my head and nobody could see that, so no, I have not seen it. Sorry.
Well, you said no.
No, I didn't.
I thought you did. We'll go back to the video. I'll put a picture of that in the YouTube site for visual reference. Not you. You and the head shake, the thing for the show.
Cool.
I do love that. Yeah, the cool case.
Right, two, left, two, right, two, left, two, right, two, right, two, left, two.
Good job. All right, here we go.
I didn't expect to get that one.
Yeah, but you did, and that's the thing. Is you said the growth of skill as you go along, and yeah, there's the FMV there of Chief Blank disappearing. We got our posse ready to go. I've been watching it probably as the most incompetent villain, who's the Mandarin. Well, I know Iron Man 3 goes into that. But
I've never seen any of the Iron Man movies, so.
You should see something. But yeah, we have Space Michael. Let's talk about that. Because, who is this, by the way?
Best part of the game.
Yeah, I'll say in just a second. I think you can kind of tell, but it is who you think it is.
Up, right, left, down, shoot, shoot, shoot. Up, right, left, down, shoot, shoot, down.
Looks like you're getting
Yeah, we're getting the hang of this guy.
Up, right, down, left, up, right, shoot, shoot.
Whoops.
Right, left, down, down.
They slow it down a little
Yeah.
bit.
Up, down, shoot.
Shoot.
great.
Yeah, you're seeing with those woos. I'll say in a second.
Shoot, shoot, shoot. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Shoot.
Oh, come on.
You got him. Don't worry.
Up, right, left, down, shoot, shoot, down.
Yeah, we got him.
Yes!
Yeah, Space Michael. That is Michael Jackson, the late Michael Jackson.
Yes.
That one. Yeah, of Thriller and many other fame, and of course did the music for Sonic 3. And he was a big one with Sega with Michael Jackson's Moonwalker for the arcade.
And they're doing the, is that from Thriller? That hand thing that he does?
This is hysterical. Well done. I think so. Chat, let me know, or I'll put an edit of what that move is.
I'm not, like, real familiar with all his music videos, so that's why
I'll get
I'm
into
not
that
totally
one.
Sure.
Here we go. Shoot, shoot.
I find it funny because Michael Jackson and I were at Sonic 3 because of the Genesis hardware was a kid doing this. Well, I'll get into that story because it was also because he was initially charged with child molestation, actually. That was part of the reason why. But also because, you're right, he had things with the hardware. But with this one, he liked the concept. And Tetsuya Mizuguchi was very nervous about putting him in because it was a last-minute thing. It was like a month before the game came in. They just changed the model, basically. And it had him record dialogue. It was like, is he be okay with it? But he's like, oh, it's fine to that. This is Maximum Sass. Indeed it is. Again, the keyboard girl.
Left, shoot. Shoot, 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 shoot. Shoot, shoot.
I did that.
Ah.
Shoot. Shoot. Shoot, shoot. Shoot, 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 shoot. Left. Right. Shoot. Shoot, shoot.
Good job. Where we got keyboard girl.
On one heart. What?
That was awesome. Good job.
I thought I was gonna fail that.
Well, there you go. I'm glad you did it. Good job.
Oh, that makes me hopeful for the next fight coming up.
Yeah, we got the keyboard girl. She's going to give us our play.
Unfortunately, she did replace Space Michael.
It's fine. We'll see Space Michael later. But actually, we'll see him in the sequel as well. But yeah, there was actually Michael Jackson. It was interesting going to that because they said they kind of did that quick as far as putting him in. But
Here we go.
you're right to that as far as that elect person. Good to go into that with Michael Jackson for the game connection and Michael Jackson Moonwalker for the Genesis and arcade and Sega Master System.
Wait.
Yeah, but Blank's getting away. But before he does, yeah, let's take care
Oh,
of
we're
these
not
guys.
there yet. Okay.
Almost. Also, they said with her, is like, hey, she did the let's shoot, but she didn't actually have the voice.
Up, hit. Right, shoot.
Oh,
Hit, hit.
No, that's what you're gonna do with the next boss.
Right, shoot, shoot. Hit, hit, hit. Right, hit, hit, hit. Left, shoot, shoot, shoot. Right, shoot, shoot, shoot. Hit, 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 hit. Right, hit, 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 hit. Left, shoot, 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 shoot. Hit, 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 hit. Right, hit, 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 hit. Left, shoot, 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 shoot. Right, shoot, 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 shoot. Hit, 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 hit. Hit, 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 hit. Up, hit. Right, shoot, 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 shoot. Left, shoot, shoot, shoot.
whoops.
It's hard.
I missed one. I was a beat early.
I couldn't say
Damn it.
all of them.
These are some of the hardest, ones in the game. Well, it's the
I
last
know, and of
report,
course
but
that's the
still.
one I wanted to do. That was my mistake.
No, but even then, she's not really that broken up about this one. And besides, yeah, you're coming up on your moment right now.
We're at 78%. I'm
Yeah, we're fine. Here we go.
Here we go.
Shoot.
Shoot, shoot.
Yeah, I just
I've
love that
gotten
style.
all of those. Like,
Yeah, you did better than I have, actually, on those.
I'm gonna get
that's right. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go up the elevator. Or I love that jump of jumping in the sky like that.
All you need is an explosion behind them.
I think that's later. Oh no, there's one of the alternate paths. You're gonna see that. All right, yeah, let's talk about the.
Spread truth like disease.
This is Evila. She's the ultimate robot reporter.
She's my favorite.
Yeah, all right, Crusader 64, take her down.
She's my favorite.
Should share my vision.
And you have every move basically of hers burned into your memory. So yeah,
More or less. You know I still need concentration for this one.
so yeah, just sit back and relax. The friends, everybody out in chat land, the YouTube land, and you. Yeah, we got our soul. We're gonna show it. So let's take her down. Let's dance.
shoot. Shoot, left. Shoot, left. Shoot, left, down. Shoot, left, down. Shoot, left, down.
Yeah, then that's the next one.
Shoot, left, down, down. Right. Shoot, shoot, left, down.
Right. Shoot.
Shoot, shoot, left, down.
Right.
Shoot, left, down, down. Right, right. Shoot.
Yeah, there you go.
It's the rhythm behind it.
I love it so much.
Right. Shoot. Right. Shoot. Left. Shoot, shoot. Left.
That hold, yeah, there.
Shoot.
Too early.
Shoot, 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 shoot. Shoot, 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 shoot.
There you go.
I caught it back.
Yeah, baby, you're doing good.
Yeah, take her down.
My favorite part's coming up.
I know, let's do it.
Down, up, down, down. Shoot, shoot, shoot.
Shoot, shoot. Up, down, shoot, shoot, shoot. Up, down, down. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Up, down, down. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Right, left, down. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Right, left, down. Shoot, shoot. Right, left, down. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Right, left. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Shoot, 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 shoot. Shoot, 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 shoot. Shoot, 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 up. Shoot, 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 up. Shoot, 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 up. Right, left, down. Shoot, 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 up. Right, left.
Yeah, I'm like moving in.
Why
time with
do
that.
I remember this?
Because this game is great, that's why, and it was great. Now here we go. Help me! Alright, so yeah, they got fused. Good job, by the way, taking Evila down,
Thank
but we are not
you.
done.
That is my favorite boss battle.
And you showed exactly why. Good job.
It's so fun.
We have 82% of the viewership on this, so let's see how much higher we can get it.
Oh, I hate this part.
Because they're reversing the controls.
Uh-huh.
They're gonna say do the opposite of what they say and hit A.
Okay, let's
So
see.
yeah, do it.
I press right. Hit. Right. Shoot. Right. Hit.
Left.
Left.
Shoot.
Shoot. Left. Hit. Hit.
Right. Shoot. Shoot.
Shoot. Right. Hit. Hit.
Left. Shoot. Shoot.
There you go.
Hit. Left. Hit. Hit.
Shoot.
Left.
Shoot. Whoops. Right. Shoot. Shoot.
Shoot.
Just think about the rating.
There
He's
you go.
all about the ratings.
Indeed he is. Pudding! I got a story, I'll tell you that later on that.
Hit. Left. Shoot. Shoot. Right. Shoot. Shoot. Up. Hit. Down. Shoot. Up. Hit. Hit. Down. Shoot. Shoot. Up. Hit. Hit. Left. Hit. Right. Hit. Down. Shoot. Shoot. Right. Shoot. Left. Shoot.
Alright, yeah.
It also reduces my hearts when he knocks out Pudding.
I know, and also now he's not gonna have
Jaguar.
Jaguar.
I have like nothing.
Oh, more actually from him.
Yeah, I don't
So
know.
fuck him, quite frankly.
Right, two, down, two, up, hit, right, hit, left, hit, down, two, left, two, right, two, left, hit, up, hit, right, hit, right, two, down, two, left, two, up, hit, right, hit, down, two, left, two, right.
Oh my
Yeah.
god! Great job!
What?
That was amazing. That is one of the hardest combinations of the game. You got it.
I got it perfect.
Oh, sorry. There you go. Thank you so much. Wow. Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that is recorded. So there you go. There's the skill.
That's it.
We got knocked off. But,
It'll live
yeah.
on the internet forever.
Yes, it will. Super. Yeah, indeed. And the chat is loving this too. All right, we out. Like the opening of the game.
I was gonna say it's a throwback.
Yes. I'm getting this acapella version of the Mexican Flyer song set to this bar.
I love this.
I know, it's so awesome. Here we go.
Down, two, right, left,
Kick.
two, right, two, down, two.
There you go. And you're also hearing the disc grinding, by the way, on the Dreamcast, if I did not mention that already, but alright.
And then her head turns into a TV.
I love it.
So what's wrong with using TV to brainwash the masses?
And I think this is 22 years ago they're saying this, but yeah, he's admitting his
I was
plan.
gonna say, this is legit come to fruition nowadays.
Wait till we play Metal Gear Solid 2, because Metal Gear Solid 2 is another game that's exactly that way, in the sense like they predicted the future. And we'll definitely play that one
Games
too.
and TV have a way of doing that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, we lost mom.
Well, but they don't give you her monitors right away.
Two, left, two, up, two. Right, two, up, two.
Yeah, when you see her monitor, hit the B button. Yeah, the chat agrees with you that way. But yeah, we have all our supporters behind us.
I didn't read instructions. Whoops. Sorry.
Oh! Well, okay, well, let me explain then what happened then, because, how that works is, fine, you look, you don't have to be embarrassed because you did the thing perfectly
Whoops.
for that. Okay, let me explain what happened. When you lose your hearts in a boss, what'll happen is that you get canceled. So weirdly enough, like, hey, we have our ratings case, so it's fine. It's just that...
See you next disaster.
Wait, what? What
He
do you say?
said, on to the next disaster.
Well, what disasters? Like after what you did with that boss there, you're gotta be fucking kidding me. No.
Whoops.
Okay. By the way, yeah, when you fail that, you have to start the level over again. Okay. I was afraid it was gonna happen to you the one place, either there or at the end. But don't worry. Do not feel.
That's alright. Like I said, I'm like way out of practice, so the fact that it happened right at the end is just... shit happens.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I mean, as I said, but sometimes here's the other thing I'll say this to you. Sometimes you get that perspective, like what's the experience of a game like this, and honestly, I'm kind of glad we showed the cancellation because that was my experience when I first played this.
Yeah.
I actually had a lot of trouble getting through this game for that very reason.
It happened to me a couple of times. I didn't think it would happen to me while we were recording anything, but
You did the other thing. It balances out.
At least now I get to see how you do on the Evil fight.
Okay, all right. Let's do this. We'll see about that.
Not meant to challenge or anything.
No.
I'm just curious.
No, I'm fine with that. I welcome that. As a chat, let us know anything else you got in your minds on the Space Channel 5 experience.
It all happened so fast.
I know.
Whoops.
There you go. But I know what you're saying as far as like maybe feeling a little off, but not bad.
It was that beginning that threw me off because I didn't like fully, I guess, comprehend what was on the screen.
But that's why it's the last boss.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I had that happen with a lot of stuff too. Like when we played Metal Gear Solid 1, I was that case. I was like failing at a couple of the bosses because that was actually my first time beating that game. So I get that idea. So don't worry about it. But either way, it's like the skill you showed is there for all time that way. Like nobody's gonna pay attention to that because like hate the final boss and yeah, Blank is an asshole. We get to see Space Michael again, who by the way you can miss. He cannot be here, but that's when you come through again. We get to see Michael Jackson again. I know it's weird.
I remember when we were talking about it at work. Nobody believed us.
I know, but I mean, then I think we showed it was Chasm22 who we worked with. We showed him. He was like, oh my god, he was kind of giddy by that.
He was so excited. He was like, "Oh, it's real!
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's real."
Don't stop now.
Yeah, that's the other thing. I think he's in the sequel as well.
You know what? I never played enough of the sequel to actually have any sort of knowledge of it, because once I hit that button lag, I was done. I mean, maybe
Get on the
it
PS3.
could just be that I played it like when I was young and didn't really get it.
But you might be right, because I said it was weird stuff with this one on the PS2 as well.
I gotta play it again, and maybe it'll be different.
Or play the PS3 version, or the 360 version.
No, I have it on the PS2. I might as well just play it on the medium I have.
Shoot, down. Okay, there we go. Got him. Yeah, good. So you get to see that movement again.
I love it.
And the woo there.
You did good, ooh la la.
Yeah. Well, Pudding will come back.
Oh no, she's actually right behind you.
Oh, so they changed the position of where they are.
They literally
Okay.
shift her.
Okay, that's cool. And I'll definitely get the idea, like, what is that in the music video? Because you're right. I mean, and I kept quiet as far as the Michael Jackson thing earlier in the show because I knew he was in this game. We knew he was in this game.
Yeah.
But they were inspired by music videos, and they did mention Michael Jackson specifically before his involvement in this game.
I want to say it's either like.
Stay tuned.
Honestly, that whole movement kind of gives me like the West Side Story vibes in the
Yes.
beginning, where they're snapping their fingers and like facing off on the gang war.
I think they might have played that up a little
Probably, but like I feel like it was either in like. I know Thriller, there's a very specific dance for it, so I don't think it's Thriller, but it might have been in, like, I want to say it's got to be one of the earlier music videos, so maybe, like, Beat It?
bit. Yeah, I think you might be right.
Yeah.
We'll edit and we'll find out.
That's kind of where I'm thinking it's coming from. I can't remember, though, because I wasn't, like, I couldn't be, I'm definitely not one of those people who say, oh, I'm his number one fan. I wasn't really.
But still, I mean, I get that idea. It's like, look, I say wrong stuff all the time, so then it's like, well, I'll edit a few days and we'll have it that way.
Yeah.
I was thinking that too. It does look like West Side Story.
Yeah, right?
So yeah, Edward agrees with you.
Another movie I never finished because the opening was literally, like, 20 minutes long.
Way to the remake.
I never
Well,
saw
fine.
it.
I think the
tried
remake's
to watch-
okay,
Yeah.
but a lot of people are mad when it didn't make a lot of money, but
There's not a lot of remakes nowadays that seem to be making a lot of money.
yeah, but I mean, I thought it was okay. I like the original more myself, personally.
Yeah.
And I think, with all due respect, Spielberg was kind of covering the fact of some elements he went on to when Roma came out a few years ago. I'm not gonna, well fine, I'm gonna call him a bigot as far as that, because he was as far as how he handled Roma, so I think he was kind of trying to hide that. But that's another story. But, fine, a West Side Story that way. But that perspective, because they're pulling 60s for this stuff, you're right. Ask that question, bring that up. Bring up, like, you know, the Strawberry Alarm Clock, if you're familiar with them, as far as, like, the music for that. If you saw Austin Powers, because it's pulling from that. You know, the opening of that movie when they go to the thing and they're playing that song, that Incense of Peppermints.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the Strawberry Alarm Clock.
Okay. I forgot the name of the band.
Well, so, I
Oh
mean,
my God.
also that was a takeoff on the movie Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, written by Roger Ebert, the film critic, who I mentioned a lot.
I've never seen Beyond Valley of the Dolls. I've only seen Valley of the Dolls, and even then I never watched the full thing. 'Cause I have a tendency to fall asleep during movies.
Well, actually, Beyond the Valley of the Dolls is kind of like a weird case. There's Russ Meyer made that. I don't think it's even connected to the actual one.
I remember trying to read the book of Valley of the Dolls, and I was like, nope, never mind.
Yeah, I'm in the movie about that, the author of that, which I remember was supposed to be really awful, was like, Isn't She Great?
Who was it? Jackie Collins.
Yeah,
No.
thank you. No, I think you're right, it is her.
Okay.
Hey, the movie, it was Bette Midler and it was Nathan Lane. People were saying, like, yeah, it was horrible from 2000.
Shit, I should have been able to watch that then. I love that Midler and Nathan Lane.
Okay, yeah, it was 2000. It was called Isn't She Great? People saying it wasn't. That was Ebert who hated it, specifically, but like, fine, he wrote. Because actually, Beyond the Valley of the Dolls was an X-rated movie, by the way. I've seen it. It's not pornographic, just like, despite what you might think, and I fucked that up.
How else would it get an X rating?
Because it was the 1970s when the X rating was basically adults only. It was before
Gotcha.
it was associated with pornography, really. And because the MPAA, the ratings board, did not, trademark that rating, it's like then the pornography industry said, like, fine, we're just putting X ratings out for stuff. And people are like, okay, that's what that is. I love Nathan Lane, so DollyFinn is with you on that, and I do too. And there's stuff with that we can get into, maybe with game, sort of. I guess with like the Lion King, sort of.
Oh yeah, he did voice Simone.
Yeah, and in the game he does that with the line, it stops. All right, let's see how evil I runs for me. Probably not as good as you, but we'll see. I'm already doing worse than you are as far as the rating. But, whatever.
Her moves are just burned into my brain permanently.
Yeah, I know. Let's
I
dance.
can't help it.
No, I get that. Yeah, he's very talented. I agree with that. You see, it's funny. I don't even necessarily need to talk on this because I remember it. Shoot, left, down. Exactly.
Shoot, left, down, down.
Down, down. Shoot, left, down, down. Shoot, left, down, down. Right,
I know it.
left, down, down.
I get the idea of, like, the all-out robotic things. This is the idea of that.
See, this is one of those cases where I would say, yes, it sounds robotic, but
I know.
it's also supposed to.
No, for this, for sure, but, like, the idea of the yin-yang case for that.
I love it. I love her
know.
color scheme.
I know!
You're talking about the pastels and everything earlier. Like, I just love that whole gray, like, kind of purple and, like, the light blue.
And that's come up on the
Mixed
show
in with the
before.
black. Oh, it looks like her... I mean, I know you can't really see, like, the underskirt and everything, but it looks like
kinda
it's
can.
reddish. It's like a dark, dark red. Which actually goes along with Ulala's, because the underskirt on her, I think, is, like, a full-on red.
Yeah, I think it is.
Shoot, shoot.
There we go.
Oh, she's tough. Come on, Ula.
Yeah, I'm not doing as well as you are.
You got her.
Yeah, we got her.
Up, down, up, down. Shoot, shoot, shoot.
Up, down, chew, chew, chew.
Up, down, down.
Up, down, down, chew, chew, chew.
Left, right, down.
Left, right, down, chew, chew, chew. It's so much fun to do that, isn't it?
Down. Left, right, down. Shoot, shoot, shoot.
Chew,
And
chew,
then
chew,
she just
chew.
speeds up.
Chew, chew, chew. Up,
Left, down.
chew, chew, chew. Up, right, left, down. All right, there we go.
Yeah.
All right, so I think you still did better, so I'll give you that much for it because like this is your fight. So there
That's
you go.
alright.
All right, but we'll see.
You're still gonna be the one to finish out the game, so
Watch,
hey.
I'm gonna miss the last thing.
Stop. If that happens twice, I can't.
Well, then it's gonna be my case. We'll have too much. We'll be failing because we're having too much fun. But that's the idea. There is like, look, this is a loosey goosey play as far as this game.
I want to see how you do on that part with this.
I'm not getting that.
No?
You got that. No way. We'll see.
It is tough.
Okay, that was my mistake. Okay, there we go.
Left, shoot. Chip. Right, shoot, shoot. Right, chip. Left, shoot, shoot. Right, chip. Left, chip. Left, shoot, shoot. Right.
Also, it's funny stories I mentioned. Yeah, when she gets knocked away, that pudding line in Sonic All-Stars Racing Transform, they have that line for pudding as a line, but they still have when she crashes, but it still has, you know, the pudding line at the end of it. It's like even though it's ooh la la saying it.
Huh.
I don't know why. I brought that up when we played that game.
Down, shoot, shoot. Up, chip. Left, chip. Right, chip. Down, shoot, shoot.
Shit, I fucked up. All right, see, that's my case. See, I did worse than you did. All right, fine. So, okay, fine. We're having too much fun with this game now. Fine, it's like, fine. Show off how better it is.
Okay.
I need to take a drink of water.
You're good. This is too funny. Alright, we're getting it this time.
Channel 5 CEO.
But I said that's fine because like we were saying, how long is this play gonna last? It'd probably be too short otherwise.
With my new
There we go. We're
give-
filling the time.
Indeed, we are, and we haven't even gotten to the extra report stuff.
No.
But as I said, we're just having too much fun. One thing I'm also gonna do is for the purpose of us, I'm gonna turn our lights on a little more over here. It's getting a little darker.
Tonight I'll be giving you the real scoop behind this crazy alien invasion. The man in that chair appears to be behind.
Yeah, we know.
We've done this twice already. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Well, to be fair, Ulla is covering the story. It's like, yeah, this is like a rerun. It's like, you know, sometimes like news stations will have like the primetime shows repeating late in the night. It's like that. But we'll assume it's, you know, not live. Like, or no, this is live for real this time.
Yeah.
Right, shoot, shoot, up, shoot, left, shoot, shoot. Up, right, shoot, up, shoot, left, shoot, shoot, shoot.
Cool.
Good job.
Alright.
Right, shoot, left, shoot. Right, shoot, left, shoot. Right, up, shoot, left, shoot, shoot, shoot.
Get down.
Up, shoot.
Alright.
Okay.
On Space Michael.
Yeah. Well, hey, here's the other thing. Look, we have a guest star of Michael Jackson in this game. I guess we better be showing him 3 times. At least. Fine, because then we're going to be a little more.
We're speaking to his memory. It's fine.
I guess so.
The security system's been tampered with.
Okay.
She's doing the swim.
I know. I just love that style. You're right. The 60s, you know, retro appeal.
Uh-huh. Yeah, the monkey. There we go.
Yeah, do the monkey with me.
Down,
smooth that movement is too.
Up, right, left, down, shoot, 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 shoot. Up, right, left, down, shoot, shoot, down.
Looks like you're getting the hang of it.
Down, left, up, right, shoot, shoot, shoot. Right, left, down, down, down. Up, down,
Shoot.
shoot.
All right.
Great.
We good. We good.
Yeah, we're doing all right.
Shoot, shoot, shoot. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Up, right, left, down, shoot, shoot.
Oh, buzz
Almost.
I was almost perfect.
I know that was.
Damn it.
Still, you're doing all right. You have the ratings up way better. And here's the other thing. I'm kind of glad that this happened to us twice because here's the thing. We're saying there might be people in that. Okay, there are people in the chat. I know. I believe it was Lekverse and Protorovo said they never played this, but the thought that well, fine, I'll let you shoot them off, and then I'll finish this.
Got the cannons aimed at you.
Yes, take the turrets down.
Shoot.
Here we go. Shoot, shoot, shoot.
Also, by the way, on the PS2, one thing I noticed is that in that version, they do the rumble as soon as they get to your turn. They don't in this one.
I don't like that.
Yeah, it is weird that way. But as I was gonna say, I'm glad we're kind of having that happen because they're saying like we could say that we've been playing this game 22 years and and get hard, but then by the fail cases we've had, which you're doing better than I am technically as far as that for sure. The idea like we're saying like okay, that's not us lying. We're telling the truth. You can
Mine's
see
kind
that.
of like it's riding a bike. Sometimes I forget, and then once I get back into it, I'm good.
You only skin your knee, you'll be fine.
Left, shoot,
Jesus Christ, I'm gonna get you a car.
Shoot, 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 shoot.
shoot, shoot, shoot. Shoot, 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 shoot.
Oh.
Shoot, 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 shoot. Shoot. Shoot, shoot. Shoot, 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 shoot. Left,
Right.
right,
Shoot.
shoot. Shoot, shoot. Shoot, 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 shoot. Shoot, shoot, shoot.
Ah,
Yeah, you're fine. Actually, it's interesting seeing Michael Jackson's knees shaking like he's nervous about this. But
Right.
you're right, it's him being paralyzed by that.
Well, it's funny because both of us have both lost him here.
Uh-huh.
Like,
Although technically you lose her anyway by getting her, so feasibly the way to keep him is to not miss, or to miss, like fail. Like fine,
Yeah.
keyboard girl is coming in.
that's alright. I'll do better with this part, too. Because
Yeah.
I know that this part was a little rough.
You're also at 80% right now, which is higher than I think either one of
Hell
us had
yeah.
the last times we did it.
I didn't know we employed such a
He's such a
skill.
smug bastard.
I know, but it fits right.
Oh, yeah, he's a villain you love to hate.
Yeah, and also if you ever played Disaster Report, he was also Charlie Baxter in that George Martinez, by the way. Yeah, they don't have the voice for some reason there. I don't get that.
Right, shoot, left, shoot. Right, shoot, left, shoot. Left, shoot, shoot. Right, shoot, shoot. Left, shoot, shoot, shoot. Right, shoot, shoot, shoot. Left, shoot, 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 shoot. Left, shoot, 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 shoot. Right, shoot, 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 shoot. Left, shoot, 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 shoot.
Almost. That is one of the hard ones, though. So I get
I
it.
did
I
that,
know.
and it didn't register.
I know.
Whatever, I'm still at 80%. I'm taking it.
Yeah, you're fine. Yeah, and like keyboard girl, go away.
Oh, well. We had her for a little bit. It was
But they said that's
fine.
what happens with this, I guess, because they had to limit the characters on screen.
Thanks for visiting.
Here we go. Shoot, shoot.
Or could you imagine this? Because Tetsuya Mizuguchi, one of the games he also worked on was you play 99 Nights.
I'm gonna
No.
get him.
It was on the Xbox 360, and what it is, it's kind of like this open. It's like a Muso game, like a Dynasty Warriors like game.
Yeah, yeah.
There's like hundreds of characters on the screen. It was early for the 360, but can you imagine something like that? Remaking like a new version of this and having like
Oh my god.
hundreds of people behind you as your posse for this. Running like on the Xbox Series X or the PS5 or something like that.
That'd be insane.
I know. Sega, free tip from Christianer64 and myself. Make that happen. We will buy it day one.
Alright, let's take this bitch down again.
Yeah, this is the third time. Like, yeah, this fight is so cool. We have to do it 3 times.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, me too. So am I.
Let's
I
dance.
know.
Shoot. Left. Shoot. Left. Left. Down. Shoot. Left. Down. Left. Down. Down. Shoot. Left. Down. Down. Left. Down. Down. Right. Shoot. Left. Down. Down. Right. Shoot. Left. Down. Down. Right. Right. Shoot. Left. Down. Down. Right. Right. Shoot.
Also, by the way, I looked at the chat here. I think DollyFinn is saying that when we're saying that move was Michael Jackson's, I think she's saying it is Beat It, so she might be right about that.
Right.
I'll verify it later.
Right. Shoot. Left. Shoot. Left. Shoot. Shoot. Up. Shoot. Up. Shoot. 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 Shoot.
I was a little off on that one.
Yeah, it's
It
weird.
still registered it though.
One of them looks like you missed, like the one before that was like, I know you didn't. It was like, it didn't say you did.
Up, down, shoot, shoot, shoot. Up, down, shoot, shoot. Up, down, down, shoot, shoot, shoot. Up, down, down, shoot, shoot, shoot. Right, left, down, shoot, shoot, shoot. Right, left, down, shoot, shoot, shoot. Left, right, down, shoot, shoot, shoot. Left, right, down, shoot, shoot, shoot. Shoot, 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 shoot. Shoot, 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 shoot. Shoot, 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 up. Shoot, shoot, up. Shoot, 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 up. Right, left, down. Shoot, 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 up. Right, left, down.
Good job.
There we go.
85. All right.
The ratings wasn't an issue for me.
It wasn't an issue for either one of us.
Damn hearts.
Yeah, I know.
All right, here
All
we
right.
go.
Yeah, we got this. I'm feeling good this time.
Rid of you.
All right. So for the third time, yeah, let's take care of them with the opposite moves.
Opposite of what they say and use your AB.
If they say left, I press right, right? Left, shift, right, shoot, right, shift, left, shoot, left, shift, shift, right, shoot, shoot, right, shift, shift, left, shoot, shoot, right, shift, shift, left, shift, shift, left, shoot, shoot, right, shoot, shoot.
All right, there we go.
Just think about the ratings. I would be king.
Shift, shift, left, shift, shift, left, shoot, shoot, right, shoot, shoot, up, shift, down, shoot, up, shift, shift, down, shoot, shoot, up, shift, shift, left, shift, right, shift, down, shoot, shoot, right, shoot, left, shoot.
Yeah, you got this. Good shape.
Well, honestly, that was the hardest part because you only have the 2 hearts.
But now you get 3 for
Yeah.
him going away.
Left, shift, up, shift, 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 left, shoot, right, down, shoot, 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 up, shift, right, shift, left, shift, 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 down, shoot, left, shoot, right, shoot, 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 left, shift, up, shift, right, shift, 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 right, shoot, down, shoot, left, shoot, 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 up, shift, 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 right, shift, left, shift, 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 down, shoot, 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 shoot.
Whoops.
Hey, just accept missing. The fact you did it the first time perfectly, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, you still got that on recording. We're good.
Yeah, absolutely.
I screwed up my left and my right. That's why.
It's hard. That's one of the hardest.
Every freaking time.
That's one of the hardest ones in the game. I
All
would
right.
say.
Now here's the part where I need to redeem myself.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
This is where I screwed up the last time. Well,
got-
not this part.
It's further than I got. Just remember Oz monitor when you see that hit the B button.
Yeah. I don't think we're there just yet.
No, we're not. But as I said, we're gonna get there.
Yeah.
All right. Still reversed though.
All right, here we go.
Shift, 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 down, shoot, 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 right, shift, 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 left, shift, 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 up, shift, 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 shift.
Left, chew, 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 right, chew, 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 down, chew, 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 chew. There we
I
go.
do love that we're totally in sync on this because that's what happens with a game like
You
this.
have to.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Taking blank down once and for all.
We got him. Don't
This
worry.
is the end of it.
Yeah, this ends tonight. Fine, it was gonna end tonight anyway, but
Yeah, we're actually gonna finish it.
Did you hear what he said? The mastermind behind all this just confessed his true intentions.
Ha! I've activated the plate.
yeah. By the way, we're going to the blank dimension. That's why this is happening.
Right, shoot, left, shoot.
Right, shoot, left, shoot,
Down, shoot, up, shoot.
down, shoot, up, shoot,
Up, shoot, right, shoot, down, shoot.
up, shoot, right, shoot, down, shoot,
Left, shoot, down, shoot, up, shoot.
left, shoot, down, shoot, up, shoot.
Doing much
go.
better.
Yeah, we got
There
it.
we go.
Yeah, you got our support system.
I
I love
love
how
this.
they're gonna cheer in on the moves.
This
so
is
let's
so
do
fun.
it. Left shoot.
Right, shoot. Down, shoot. Up, shoot. Up, shoot.
Oh,
Edwex says you could do it. Yeah, we got you. Yeah, we got this. Hold on, Nuala. Down, down, chew.
Left, shoot.
right, left, shoot.
Left, right, shoot.
Left, right, shoot.
Up, shoot, shoot.
Up, shoot, shoot.
All right,
Yeah.
all right, come on. We're out of the blank dimension. We're almost there.
With 2 hearts.
Up, shoot. Left, right, shoot. Up, right, left, down. Shoot, shoot, shoot.
One more thing to do.
Okay.
Here's our chance.
All right, we got it.
Your energy on the antenna.
Okay, your selfish motives will
I
destroy.
love how they all come together on this.
Uh huh.
You're an enemy to truth.
All right, you got this, my friend.
I feel so used.
And the Merolians are not gonna take this shit either.
Yeah, they'll never forgive him.
All right, let's show them what the power of our music is.
Keep the beat now.
Here we go.
You did it.
Done.
Good job.
What?
By the way, the reason I was quiet there is if he missed that, the entire level is lost.
I've never missed it in all the times I've played this, so I didn't actually know that.
That's why I'm glad.
And
you're
that
on
is
this one.
really not what I wanted to do after failing the first time.
You did it though, but also we could have put in the autoplay mode. If that is the case, I'll do that in a second or talk to you about that. This is gonna be a sail move vibe. I agree with that. Space Channel 5. Also, we're turning the game volume down a little bit because otherwise I might get content striked on this piece of music. But all right, there we go. Good job, my friend.
Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah. It had to be you who did this. It couldn't have been me. You had to lead us through the space stratosphere as we have everybody going. We're dancing. That is Space Channel 5 for the Dreamcast. We are not done with the game yet, though, because we have other stuff going on here for the other paths. We're going to show them off. We have save files to do that, as well as all the character profiles, which I've unlocked. And by the way, yeah, thank you, Michael Jackson. He is in the game.
I love that they do thanks.
I do love that, because it was a last-minute thing, as I mentioned,
Yeah.
for the purpose of that. But yeah, all right. So that is our experience. Thank you, chat, for this, as far as, your support for us, and thank you for being in on the show, my friend.
Thank you.
Do you want to go into, well done, says DollyFinn, or to go to the Donkey Kong 64 perspective? Well done. Okay, yeah, you get it. Very fun. Okay,
do.
we still got some more stuff on the show, as it is DollyFinn, so thank you. All right, while we're going this credit sequence, which we still have to go through a little bit of, do you want to go into your final thoughts, as far as like summing up everything this game means to you, what you love about it most, and why people should play it if they have not yet?
Yeah, well, obviously what I love about most, I think I was pretty vocal about, is that Evola fight. Everything about it, I don't know why, for whatever reason, just the way that fight is done,
Uh-huh.
you heard it. Like, the choreography is burned into my brain.
And mine too.
It will not leave, even though I haven't played this game since it first came out. Mm-hmm. It's still there, just chilling in the background, and every now and then I will think about the moves. I don't know why. It's just a thing. But overall, just the entire style of it, the 60s vibe, the whole campiness of it all, the fact that it's just stupid in the best ways. Mm-hmm. It's a good damn time.
I know, and by the way, I did turn on the music up a little bit more because this is an original sort of song that was done by the people who did the music for the game, and you're getting a lot of the musician case, but I like what you just said there as far as the idea that it's burned in my brain, because the two of us, but also I guess chat, from what I've gathered too, played a lot of music games in our years, and things like, it's been 20 years, 22 years to the day since this one, and special thanks to Tomoko Sasaki, who did the music for Knights and Rise Star and World of Illusion. But, oh, there's the video of Beat It that goes into that. Okay, thank you, DollyFinn. They'll also go into the link list when we put that up on the YouTube site in a few days. But it goes in the description. We go links as far as anything chat reference or anything we reference. But I like what you said, because with a lot of music games, there are a lot of music games we've played that you don't necessarily maybe have those specific particulars of them burned into your brain. I mean, I can think of some games I played, stuff like Samba de Amigo, like at that era. I mean, later stuff like Rock Band, Guitar Hero, and like Taiko Drum Master. You mentioned one, Unison from Tecmo,
Yeah.
PlayStation 2. And Edwack, I know you're a big one on Guitar Man, and that's on the table, by the way, for the purpose of that. Sometimes these things just will hit into you and hit into that element of your brain and aren't going to let go. And there's something to be said about Space Channel 5 really doing that well.
Yeah, I mean, I know that we were talking about Unison a little bit before we started the stream and everything. And I know somebody had said that this gives them Sailor Moon vibes. So if you're looking for something like that and you want to play something just as cheesy and campy, I mean, we looked it up before. A copy of Unison for PS2, I think, is like $30 or so.
New, if
New,
that.
yeah.
New, used is like $10.
But it's just as campy, just as stupid. And if you want even more, like, it's kind of a mix between, like, Sailor Moon and, like, Totally Spies kind of vibe.
Yes, and I know Electrus mentioned Totally Spies in the show before. Also, DollyFinn's question, was Samba de Amigo the one with the maracas? Yes, it was. It was Sonic Team who developed that. That is a great price also as far as Unison is concerned. An interesting one on the PS2. I'd never played that before, but as soon as you said it, I was like, oh, I somehow knew or remembered that was from Tecmo.
Yeah.
From that one from 2000, apparently.
I love this. Very executive producer, very, very executive producer, very, very, very executive producer.
Yeah, indeed-o. But I mean,
you know, you have to differentiate.
there's something to that for sure as well. But yeah, we can sort of show Samba de Amigo. We just have to pick specific songs out of it for it. Yeah, it is so funny for the purpose of that, of the element of the I guess the credits. But actually, we are not quite done.
Nope.
Well, for one other reason, you want to get a sense of what that is? Well, sort of, but also we're getting the case of this, which is
dancing games.
for all people who love music, dancing games, and the interesting spacing of music and dance. So I don't know, maybe there's something else they had put there and how that is on the PlayStation 2, but
Oh yeah, I never noticed that.
it's like you with the spelling thing on the case of that.
Yeah.
I hope that's my job title one day. Okay, Edwack agrees with that. Is the idea?
Very, very, very executive producer.
Yeah,
Hell
yeah.
yeah.
Keep working hard and you can get there. Yeah, for sure.
Gets delegated more.
Indeed-o.
All right, what have we got coming up? I know there's a save.
Up.
Yeah, they do give you a direction to press after the credits, by the way, so
I
keep an
forgot
idea
about
of
that.
Okay, see, I thought you knew. when I
No,
said
that's
that.
why you were like, you got one more thing. I was like, okay, and I just kind of picked up the controller. I was like, let's find out.
Yeah, they do. By the way, if you fail that, it does not cause you to fail the mission.
I would hope not. That would suck.
Well, given like the error of this, that might be the idea. But all right, we are set to that. So yeah, report 2.
It's the second one?
Yes, the second one.
Okay.
Hit the B button, and we are set for this. All right, and DollyFinn would like to do that as well. Yeah, ADX, as far as that, for the compression stuff they use for this, which they show only after you beat the game. It's called MPEG Soft Deck, which you see a lot on the Dreamcast. Okay, so, with the game finished, you say, like, what else do we have on the show to offer? Well, I'll tell you. Because after you beat the game, you can load the save you had, it goes to clear, and gives you extra mode. And what that is lets you play through the stages, go down different paths. So what we're going to do is we're going to do two things. We're actually going to load up that file we just finished.
Okay.
We'll load a couple other files, hit continue. It'll start you back at report 1.
Right.
And because of that, we are going to skip... Actually, you know what? Before we won't skip that. It's 2489. You were saying when was the year for that?
Well, this is 100 years before.
Is it? Okay,
yeah,
so...
because this is like the thing that...
You know what? Fine, let's watch this again just to go into that. So, yeah, talk to that.
Yeah. I just remember they were saying it's like 100... They said like 100 years later or something like that.
Okay, so then... Alright, so then 2549 is then this game set.
Alright, so I was like 50 years off.
That's fine, but still, you were paying attention to that. I forgot that part. And that's the other thing, as I mentioned, which is, and this is the benefit, I guess, of having other people on the show with this in your...
Oh, 10 years later. Jesus.
Still-
I was way off.
It's a 0. It's still...
$24.99.
Okay, fine, almost 2,500. We're kind of getting out there. Which, I mean, fair enough.
I said $25.99. I added a 0. My bad.
Well, I mean, I guess because this came out in Japan in 1999, so that's probably why they had the idea of that.
Yeah.
Maybe. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to show off the extra paths, and except for Report 3, every report has an extra path. And actually, Report 1 has 2.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is we're going to go through both of these. At this point, it doesn't necessarily matter if we... by the way, if you heard that hitting, I hit against the table, but that's fine. But it doesn't really matter as far as whether we do well, and honestly, I have to miss a lot of stuff in order to do this. Because I'm like, yeah, we had our struggles that way, but honestly, we have to miss in order to go to the paths that we're going to go to. Because I figure, like, we're going to play this game, we're celebrating its 22nd anniversary, we damn well better show off everything in this game. It's like, both him and I adore this game. We're going to show this all the love. We're going to do the Super Bowl Game Saturday play of it, which is what we always do, which is we'll come in here, we'll have a discussion, we'll have all of you in the chat and in YouTube land being a part of that. And I thank you again so much from the bottom of my heart for joining us for this journey for it. And going into our memories and also going deep into the game, we're going to give this the same love that you would give any game that you want to see or have seen or played, whatever, to it. And every case of that is like, yeah, we're going to go through everything in the game, show everything off. It's like you're all of you out in the chat are on the couch with the two of us.
And I was telling you, I don't remember ever going into the extra paths or anything, because when I finished the game, I would just start up a new file, like, from scratch.
Right. I mean, you'd think then feasibly that, and I'll say this with a lot of music games tend to be either you're going to go through story mode and it'll be long enough, they're like, okay, fine, that's going to be it. Or you'll go for, like, a high score case, like, was mentioned, games like Dance Dance Revolution, games like Samba Amigo, games like Rock Band, things like that, where it's kind of about the high score chase to a certain extent.
Yeah.
To a degree, generally speaking.
Well, I mean, to be fair, most of the rhythm games out there, I mean, I'm sure there's a select few. I don't know about Elite Beat Agents. I know that's one that you love.
Oh my god, I love that game.
But I know
would
that
love to show it if I can.
For the majority of, like, not even the majority, but I know a large amount of, like, rhythm games out there, the story's pretty thin. If it even exists at all.
Or sometimes they'll have fun with what the story is.
Real quick, that guy in the back in the green. I think it's hysterical how he's just kind of like, I don't know what he's doing, but it's just like a funny animation to me.
And as I said, what they did with this game is they basically, I guess, CG'd or I guess sort of full motion videoed the backgrounds, and they imposed ooh la la and all of the modeled characters into that. But it looks very smooth. It doesn't look weird. It didn't look aliased or washed out the way it does on the PlayStation 2.
The only place it looks weird to me is when I was doing that last battle with Blank, where you had the giant crowd behind you, and she was the only, like, vibrant model. Obviously, because she's the one moving and everything, but it just looked kind of strange.
Yeah, I know, a little bit, but actually, I'm failing this intentionally because I have to have my viewer rating in at least a range of 80 to 89%.
Okay.
And actually, I realized when I was doing the test play, trying to unlock the rest of the character profiles, I'll go on out when we do that. I had some of my save files. I had to actually play through the entire game again because I passed the area for where it was, and my
ratings did too well.
My ratings were so high that I put the controller down.
Just let it go.
I let it go, but in that first part, it was not enough of a failure for me to go to the next section. So yeah.
Funny.
So by the way, yeah, I'll also show when you fail.
Right,
seriously,
so
they do look like Teletubbies. Yeah, do you want to go into that now that we're running?
They really do. I mean, if they were a little bit taller, like they're I guess, if you want to call them faces, would be in the exact spot.
And I'm gonna put a picture like of Tinky Winky in the YouTube site right here to kind of reference that, because like what other player of Space Shield 5 is gonna have chat asking that or saying that observation, and then we're gonna have it right here.
I mean, the least creepy one out there. You know?
Is that the least creepy one?
I don't know. So, fun fact: the baby who played the son, has a kid.
Really?
Yeah. One of those little weird facts that are floating around the internet.
And also, one other thing actually I guess about the Teletubbies is, for our show, it's technically not off topic because there are games based on it on the PlayStation 1.
I don't really, I don't put that past gaming companies at this point. Anything they can market off of, they will.
But that wasn't even back in the day. I mean, that was like I think it was 2000 that came out.
That shooting was
Oh, jeez. Harsh.
Yeah, she will say that if you're missing too much. So in that case, it's also good to show that, well, those are getting sad and kind of like covering their eyes that way. Yeah, they're from England, from where I live. Oh, really? Okay, DollyFinn, that's that idea, like international programs, right? That way. But I know that is a UK program, the TV show. Actually, I think it was big in the UK. They're from Stratford, or the show is from Stratford-upon-Avon. Is that the idea? I don't know if the show is, or if DollyFinn is saying that was where she's from, or is from. But, yeah, we saw the shop. Oh! Okay, so it is from the show. That's the area, and we saw it. Okay, the show and characters. Okay.
It's a beautiful area where they shot.
Oh, yeah, no question.
I had no idea that it was a British-based show.
I mean, I knew it was British-based, but I didn't know specifically where. So it's like, you always learn something on this show. Like, whether it's us or whether it's going to be the chat saying something.
It's all over.
Yeah, he will say that. Who's the man when you fail that? And all my people are
Why?
gone. I guess
it's such a weird spot to put that.
probably, I guess, because here's the thing, I guess, because I mentioned Tetsuya Mizuguchi was said, make a game that's kind of aiming as far as female perspective. Maybe the female perspective is saying, like, even my producer doesn't believe in me if I fail. But then it's like, fine, fuck him if we do really well, and we'll be in a case of that.
Here we go.
Maybe, I don't know. Alright,
I mean, it's speculation at this point.
I don't know if there's, like, a reason for that.
Stay tuned.
So when does this other path come in?
Now,
Oh, okay.
I had to do that. It was Ragdoll Productions who did that. Okay, awesome. Thank you, DollyFinn, for that. Yeah, if you get 80 to 89%, you go to the luggage room.
Oh, yeah, I've definitely never seen this.
I'm in the luggage
Alright, so that's the idea.
Receive word that the staff-
Telly's landscape is an outdoor set in rural Warwickshire, England. Sweet Knoll Farm, Red Hill Bank Road. Okay, which is where William Shakespeare lived in Shipston on Stour, close to the River Stour. Okay.
Damn.
There you go, DollyFinn has the knowledge. We're going in the luggage room.
Left, two, right. Two,
Alright, so there we go. Fitting, I guess, if you want to go on a trip to London, like go to the luggage room.
right, two, left.
So fitting, it all fits in place. Thank you for providing that.
Yeah. it was- Didn't expect to learn something like that on the show.
That is the beauty of the chat here, and thank you very much, chat, for everything. And so, yeah, you have to go down these paths to find these other survivors. And sometimes you have to miss the attacks you get. It's like, I missed him, so I think in some cases it makes certain survivors appear that wouldn't appear otherwise. And I'm missing what the things are specifically. That's fine.
I gotta get better.
Yeah. Yeah, he will come in. But they will still come with me. I still have, like, the side of that. But yeah, we were seeing, like, the spacey area, like, all the luggage going through the rings.
This is such a cool looking.
I know.
background.
You talk about the color case, like the neon.
Yeah. Getting some Fifth Element vibes.
Oh, okay.
Is that a new path for you?
I think so, actually. I don't think I've seen this.
The look on your face, you're like,
Because here's the thing, when you play the second time through, as you have, and you know what, I don't care if I'm missing, but,
Maybe something new will reveal. Who knows?
well, I mean, I must have, because you have to play through this to get all the character,
Oh, it's slow. It's slow.
oh, okay, fine, we'll give it another shot.
Right. Up, two, right, two, up, two, right, two, left, two. I gotta practice more.
Yeah, I must have done this, though, because I wouldn't have been able to unlock all the characters otherwise going through this path. You have to go through every path to find them.
You looked very... Space Dog? Did you get Space Dog?
I must have.
There's a Space Dog!
I must have gotten
amazing.
him if I have 100%.
That's amazing. Space Doggo!
Alright,
Left, down, up, left.
I'm Whiskey Get Space Dog.
Right, left, two, up, down, right, down, two, up, down, right,
Oh, shit.
two,
This is your
Okay, I got it.
You got it, you got it.
up,
Shit, I don't have it.
Damn.
two.
We need to get the dog. I'm adamant about this. You know,
Sorry, Space Doggo.
That was lame.
Who's the man?
not me. Okay, here's the thing. I could, you know, is this the reason to kind of go into this, the autoplay mode of this game?
Which I didn't even know there was one.
Now get yourself to the launch pad.
Yeah, we're gonna not.
Get ready. There's more. Use the A button beam if they say choose.
Let's do this.
Here we go. Two, two.
Okay, I'll tell you what we're gonna do. I failed. Fine, you know what? Fine. Keep it going. That's the pause.
Stay tuned.
Nice.
Oh yeah, we slide off. That looked weird. Okay, fine. I'll tell you what we're gonna do. Was that a Roscoe Space Dog? It might have been. Actually, you know, we're gonna get the dog, and I'll tell you how we're gonna get the dog. We're gonna go to play, and so it's the same, by the way. It's the only path that changes is the one, the second one.
Okay.
So what that means is that, okay, fine, it has the same save loaded. What I'm gonna do is we're gonna go through that again. I'm going to fail enough to get to that point as I need to, and then I'm gonna put in the code for autoplay, which you hold the left or right trigger, you hit up left A, down right B, right B. What that does is I have it written down, don't worry.
I figured as much.
When you put that in, it will play the entire game. Every move will be played to 100%. You can go through the entire game that way, and any of the survivors you get will be recorded in your save file by doing that. So you can feasibly go the entire game and do that to unlock them, but as I mentioned, because there's certain parts of that game where you need to intentionally miss the targets in order to get some of the survivors to appear, you can't just do that the whole game and it's like, oh, I'll get everything. As I said, when
That's a hell of a cheat code.
I know it's weird, but I think it's also the idea that, I'll show one other one. If you hit the start button, you hit, I believe it's X and Y or something, you can basically make that pause screen be totally, clear without the play end thing on it.
Weird.
So it's like the Sonic the Hedgehog games. I mentioned that before, like you press start in the old Sonic games, like it just goes stopping and there's like pause thing on screen. It pauses, but it doesn't actually show on screen that, oh, it's paused. That is a weird case of that, and this game has a thing like turn that off. Actually, I think Sonic Adventure on the system has that as well. Or actually, one of the weirdest ones, there's a code for, you ever play Primal Rage?
Bits and pieces.
We actually played it last week in the American Treasures 2. Which, what system you played on? Do you remember?
Oh, I might have played the arcade cabinet.
Which is actually the version we played, so perfect. But with that game on the Super Nintendo, there's a code that you can actually turn off the pause wording.
Okay.
So basically, when you press start to say pause, it says pause. But if you turn that on, it basically just doesn't say anything. And I remember the Console Wars program, I'll put a link to this, they did their play on Primal Rage against the Genesis and Super Nintendo version. They said, what is this code where you have, being able to just get rid of that wording? Who cares? And I think they even like a thing like, who came up with this? And they have their recurring skit, which is like a not Dr. Wily type saying like, 9, if you don't let me do this, I'm going to create 8 robot masters to take over the world. So I'll put a link to that in the YouTube site. And we've mentioned the Console Wars program on this show before, but for that, it's like, that's a weird case, like a code of saying, we're going to put in something for, just making the pause screen look that case.
It was either arcade cabinet they played it on or the SNES. Didn't they make a cartridge for it?
They made that in every fucking system ever,
Okay,
pretty
so
much.
then it's quite feasible that I played it on the SNES.
I played it on this. Actually, I played it on the arcade version in that collection. But actually, I also played it randomly. I played it on the 3DO because it was on that. I played it when it was at MagFest. They had it set up in their video game museum. They had a 3DO set up. They had the 3DO port of that. I mean, let me go into that since I can fail this and I have to fail it to get where I'm going. That game was on the Sega Genesis. It was on the Super Nintendo. It was on the 32X. It was on the Jaguar CD, which is the CD add-on for the Atari Jaguar. It was on the 3DO. It's on the PS2, GameCube, and Xbox because of that collection. And I think I do need to at least do sort of okay on this to get 80.
Keep it above 80.
Well, I think, no, if I was only going to keep it at 80, I think I'll be fine. So actually, no, I'll hit it because 80 to 89, so, yeah, fine, I'm going to let it fail. And then it's also, it was on 30, also go back to the Primal Rage thing, it was also on 32X, and it was on the Amiga, I think.
Okay.
So it was on every system known to man, basically. So, that's that idea. Yeah, it is all over, but okay, fine. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to put the code in. I'll show you. Hear that? Yeah? That means that it worked.
Yep.
So yeah, let's put the controller down. I am not doing anything with that.
Just let it play itself.
Because we got to get the dog, and then what we're going to do is we'll go back into this. I will do well to go to the other path, and then we'll do for level 2 and 4, and then we'll show the character stuff off.
Okay.
Because as I said, we'll get a good play out of this game specifically.
So you said this level had 2 paths?
Yes.
Okay,
This is the only level in the game that's like that.
So this is the first path. Where's the second one?
Second one is if you have your ratings at between 90 to 100%.
After you get to the end of that first section.
Yeah, after you play through the game once, you go the extra mode, and then for this stage, if you have a rating between 80 to 89, you come here. If it's 90 to 100, you go to the other secret area, and if it's below that, you go where we saw pudding.
Okay.
So, alright, fine. We'll let the game show me up. It's like, yeah, I couldn't do this. I must have done this, because otherwise I would not have unlocked all the characters in that menu, which I'm pretty sure I did. I checked it today. I thought I did, but if I didn't, I'll have it recorded here. And you know what? Fine, I'll let it play through the boss, just for the purposes. So, you know what? Fine. We get to talk over this game about time more reliably.
Yeah.
It's like, I wanted to talk over this as much as I could, but it's like, I know we gotta pay attention to a certain degree. Like, how do we balance that while also being able to, keep that going and show that?
I think we did alright. I mean,
I think so, more than
everything
alright.
considered, it was... Listen, not for nothing. where we failed, it was on the last level.
And where you succeeded was on the last level in amazing fashion. I cannot believe that. So
Yeah.
thank you.
That rest
I mean, it was just one of those things. Like I said, if I may be out of practice, but it'll all come back eventually.
Also, you do hear that, by the way, when after you beat the game, you go through the extra mode. When you get to the last part of it, you know, whenever you get the rescue ready and it plays the music again, the start of it, like the yeah. Fuse will actually sing along to it in the extra mode. So you went like dee. You'll hear it in a second again. Fine, let's see how it slowed down on this one.
There was just like one part where they did it.
Well, really slowed down. More than we had Space Michael.
up, 2, out, hit, left, 2, out, hit, right, 2, out, hit, right, 2, out, hit, up, 2, out, hit, left, 2, out, hit, right, 2, out, hit, out.
Oh, it slows down in each
Considerably.
bar, which
Yeah.
is interesting. I think that's the only part of the game I'm aware of that does
Yeah,
this.
and then it goes right back.
Alright, well, at least we'll
That's
get
some
the
bullshit
space
they
stuff.
threw at you.
With what?
This part.
Well, I'm glad. Here's the thing about this, because they're like, hey, what's the longevity of this game? The fact that they have another path and they give you those harder, you know, routines to go about.
Yeah.
Outside of, you know, the sequels and stuff.
There's 4 space dogs.
Okay, and by the way, also, one other thing is that when you go through some of these paths enough, if your rating is high enough, some of the event situations like this will be different. So actually, I think we only saw the one before.
Yes, we did, and we saw 2 Morolians.
So in this case, because our rating is higher, we have more of them here.
Now we have 4 space doggos. Nikki, it's your dream.
There you go. It's like, yeah, you never know what you're getting on this program.
Right, left,
But I said it gives you more variety for this, and also the sequels and that VR game. And also the, I may as well talk about the Ulo's Cosmic Attack, 'cause I've never played it, but from what I understand, it's basically a demake of this in the sense, because it's on Game Boy Advance, because they did kind of do the music a little less modified, but a lot of the voice for the dance directions, I think all the dance direction voices in the game.
Oh, okay.
So they were able to, I guess, be smart as like how they figured that.
So it's playable.
Well, it's playable, but also the idea, like, the fact they realized that, and that was an interesting thing, because I don't know, what games, for the Game Boy Advance, have you played anything of Sega specifically?
I played, you know that, when they were, like, porting all the Sonic games?
Right.
That's literally all I did was play, like, the ports. I
like
think
Sonic-
I played the first one.
It's like Sonic the Hedgehog Genesis you played?
Was it the collection?
Or was it on the
Might have
DS?
been- it
Oh,
might
that's
have
on the
been-
DS.
Nah, I played one on the Advance, though.
Because there's Sonic Advance 1, 2, and 3. There's,
Maybe it was one.
there's the port of Sonic Spinball on the Game Boy Advance. There's Sonic the Hedgehog Genesis, which is horrible.
They hop!
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry,
They
absolutely.
hop! It's adorable!
I know.
If they say choose.
Yeah, I think I might have played 1 or something like that. I know it was definitely one of the Sonic games.
So it was not Sonic the Hedgehog Genesis. You have to see that. The game is so insanely hard. It was a port of Sonic 1 that was 2006 on the Game Boy Advance, and it's insanely bad, but Sonic Advance came out earlier. But anyway, my point was that it's too cute. Yeah, I agree, DollyFinn says. But on the Game Boy Advance, what was interesting about Sega with that is that they had this partnership with THQ where they didn't publish their own stuff for some reason, but THQ did. But they were doing a lot of ports of stuff from consoles. They did this, as I mentioned, the Ulo's Cosmic Attack. They did Super Monkey Ball Jr., which they took Super Monkey Ball from the GameCube. They did a 3D engine for that and put it on the Game Boy Advance. It actually runs surprisingly well.
That's impressive.
Well, it gets even more impressive because we're talking Dreamcast. Jet Grind Radio. You familiar with that game?
I know Jet Set Radio.
Or Jet Set Radio. That was the main name in Japan. There was a license case. They changed it to Jet Grind Radio for the US, and then they made the sequel. They had the rights again and to get it back, so that's the name. They ported that to the Game Boy Advance. It was Vicarious Visions, who made Diablo 2 Resurrected. They made the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater games on the Game Boy Advance. A couple of the Spider-Man games they'd made. And they did the Guitar Hero ports on the Wii. Interesting enough. But they made Jet Grind Radio on that system, Jet Set Radio. It's either or, it's the same game. They have the music almost one-to-one with the Dreamcast game. Somehow. I don't know what they did to make that happen.
That's amazing.
I know. I will put a link to that because you're not going to want to believe it. And it's a game that costs quite a bit now. It's like, not as much as Spaceship 5 on the Advance, but it's up there. And even Jet Grind Radio on the Dreamcast costs like $90 now. But that's quite an amazing tech feat. And Sega was doing that on the Game Boy Advance. So them putting this on the Game Boy Advance was kind of a big deal for that. I will definitely show you that Jet Grind Radio. It isn't. You will not believe the fact that they got that running on the Game Boy Advance most of, and that goes to the thing with Sonic the Hedgehog Genesis. Like, it's Sonic 1, the first one.
Right.
It's 2006. They ported Jet Grind Radio to that same system in 2003. It runs amazing. And you're saying to me on Game Boy Advance, they can't port a Sega Genesis game from 1991. Like, no, they can put a Dreamcast game here. Also, Choo-Choo Rocket is on the Game Boy Advance as well.
Okay.
You familiar with Choo-Choo Rocket?
I've never played it, but I have heard of it.
I have it. Because, like,
Of course you do.
there are games on the Dreamcast I don't have, but by the way, we're also going to have a Dreamcast showcasing going on in about 5 months. So yeah, look forward to that. Actually, he's going to help me with one of the games I need for the purpose of that. So thank you for that. But as I said, that's another interesting one. And that was a launch game, Choo-Choo Rocket. So the idea that they took that puzzle game where you're basically placing the arrows down to get the cats into the rocket. No, the mice into the rockets so the cats don't eat them. And there was a commercial for it in Japan where you had the cats biting down on the mice and then bleeding profusely.
I feel like there's a bunch of stuff after this that I need to YouTube.
There's also, well, it's also a bunch of stuff I'm going to put in the link list. Let me explain that. I don't know if I've actually gone explicitly into that.
Oh my god.
In the chat has given me links for things they've referenced, so I said, okay, cool, let me put a link to that. When I do the YouTube upload in a couple days, I do like, the video description. I put a list of like all the links we talked about, or anything I came up with, anything you mentioned, anything the chat mentioned. So that's where those are all going to go. So all those links, so everything I'm mentioning, everything chat's mentioning and provided, is going in there. So yeah, you will see all this weird stuff I'm mentioning.
Oh man.
And that's the other thing, and that's why I'm saying, like, if you bring up anything for that on the show, it's like, it can go in there, and you'll have that.
Fair game. No, but like I've never even seen. What did you call? What was it? Cosmic. What? The remake that they made for.
It was ULL's Cosmic Attack.
Yeah, I've never even seen footage of that, so I have to look that up because I'm curious to see.
What did they do?
Yeah, how it looks on the Game Boy Advance.
You definitely see that it was downgraded, but as I said, you also understanding, okay, it's the Game Boy Advance, but still something, yeah, we have the dogs with us.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We did that. We're gonna go back into that report for report 1. We're gonna do it again. We're gonna get into a case where our ratings are in between the 90 to 100% range.
Which you could do autoplay right from the start on that.
I can do that, but actually what I'm gonna do is since I did play that part of it, yeah, let's do this one. It doesn't matter, I save it. So what I'm going to do is, we're going to go out, I'm going to go into the next report, we're going to quit out, we'll do that, and then do report 2, and then 4, and then all the characters.
Okay.
I must have, as I said, I had to have gotten it, but as I said, I don't remember the thing with the dogs, which is amazing, the fact that that's the case. And actually, to mention one thing quickly, this level does have actually one, you know what, let's show off the one here, I'll show you how.
Just the look on your face, that's why I was like, oh, you must have not, like, gone there or something.
It's been so long since I played this game, honestly, to that much of a degree, that I had to have gone there years ago, but I just don't remember. Okay, because I was going to go back out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show the extra path on here, because there's only one.
Let's shoot.
Now what you got to do is you have to get through this
Right, shoot, up, shoot, left.
with a 90 to 100% rating. And for this, what happens is that if you get below that, you go back to the dining hall we were at, and you get a new character to unlock, actually, for, instead of the diva we had, you have, like, a grandmother.
Yeah, you were saying,
So basically you have to play through this game a second time. You have to fail enough to get to the place you were at before where you see Jaguar. You have to go through that to get the grandmother, and then you also have to get the perspective of getting the other member of Jaguar's posse. You have to play through the game twice to get that.
I mean, the nice thing is they're a little lenient with, like, the percentage ranges. Like, it goes by tens.
Yeah.
So even if you're like somewhere within that 10 range, like at least you're gonna get it still. I never saw any of this just because like I said, I never played through it from a previous save file. I always just started.
Because you would, as you said, you'd think not to. You'd think like, okay, fine. The only reason
the game does this.
Well, also I was thinking, well, okay, maybe the indication is it says extra mode when you do the save over at the end of the game, but then you're like, well, fine. They make it harder, and there are parts that are harder.
Sure.
There's some things, we're going to see one of the rescue cases where they only give you 2 hearts to start. So if you miss twice, you're screwed.
Right, left, right, left, right, left.
I just love the fact, like, all my, all the, as you mentioned, the flight attendants kind of just going into that. Oh, by the way,
glowing.
Yeah, when you get to 95% or higher, she starts glowing.
Ooh, never had that happen.
So to quote NBA Jam, she's on fire! Or he's on fire in the case of that one. Oh, right. What? Hold on.
going.
Oh, wait a minute. I have autoplay on. I was hitting the buttons as I went along without remembering that. Oops.
I was like, you're doing really well. Well, that
I was, sort of, but
that
like...
was funny as hell.
Okay.
Okay, well, now we're definitely getting the path.
Okay, fine. That was one way to do it. I mean, maybe that was why I wanted to quit out, because I wanted at least... Because my thought was, like, maybe I wanted to actually play that part. But
That
like,
was
you know, it's fine.
hysterical.
Too funny. Yeah, I
There
agree.
he is singing with it.
Yeah, and then you hear him singing with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is the captain. You know,
I love I love their animations. It's
the
so
fact they vary
funny.
them up too, so it's that you play through again and you see these things like, hey, it doesn't matter as you fail ones, like you see something different. Each
They
time.
do that even on the first playthrough.
Yes, they do. Oh, I mean, I remember for that, but you know, I'm saying that you're right. You get that different perspective to that. Okay,
Yeah.
Over and out.
I do love when he says that, which I usually get when you're really high up on your ranking. Okay, so here's the second area for this. You have 90 to 100%.
Ooh.
Go in the garbage room. And this is one of those areas that you have to actually do a miss at an area in order to get a survivor.
Okay.
It's pitch black, and space mice are everywhere.
Space mice.
But I don't know if we're going to see those space mice. We'll see. Maybe we do.
Here we go.
Although I like how
I
he just...
mean, they showed space dogs.
I love how like the guys, the people in my posse, they just kind of were walking forward and they just kind of got pushed back by an invisible force.
Space rescue police.
Yes! And they said some of these encounters you actually have to come in here, first off, and come in here with a low enough rating so that they'll appear. And then replace other ones. We'll see that actually for the other path for Report 1. And then we'll go to Report 4, which is the only other one that has an extra one. Report 3 for some reason doesn't have it. I guess it's because you're going to the Astro Field and you're going to that area.
Honestly, Report 3 is kind of a weird one. And I think that one is kind of more story driven.
Right. Also, yeah, they're getting the really long patterns here.
Left, right, left, do.
Yeah, and I think here's the thing about that though. Also, is that for Report 3, I think there was rumors for years that there was another one. It was like, oh no, there's not. But I would think, like, why then do the other ones not have that? And Report 1 has 2 of them, as opposed to the other ones have 1. But as I said, it's also the case that, hey, if you want your mastery of Space Channel 5 to go on, play the extra mode. I said, because of this, we're all letting you know exactly how to get all the stuff and see it. And as I said, it is hilarious that I didn't realize I had the autoplay on. I know.
I was wondering too. I was like,
I know. Sometimes it happens though. Sometimes you get so much into a zone with a game, and that's happened. I mentioned that before. I'm so into something that I kind of am not recognizing something about it.
Yeah.
That you think like maybe blatantly obvious.
oh,
but then-
there's a little space mouse.
Okay, fine. There is a space mouse, so never mind. I lied. And they do change that that indication from him for each level, except Report 3.
There should be a passageway in front of you.
Gotcha.
Alright, so yeah, with that, you jump in here, and yeah, we are in the garbage chutes. So like Sonic Adventure, where you fell into the trash chute in Casinopolis, except it's a lot more colorful down here, and still has kick-ass music, just like that game did. Yeah, they're quite literally coming out of the garbage, and you have to save them. I am having such a blast, by the way, with this game. Not just least of which because of how we're running it, but just also the idea of just that atmosphere.
Man, that ain't just good. That is.
Yeah, and he will say that for purposes. Yeah, it's so good. And he said if you're going to be getting all the character profiles, you have to go through all these areas. And he said in some cases miss. It was hard to find one, and I'll point out what that is because it's on the next path. And now we're at 100%.
I was wondering if it went past 99 or not.
It goes to 100 eventually. Or it's like, we mentioned Parappa the Rapper. This is like the you rapping, good, bad, awful. There's the cool, and you're like, how do you get the cool? You have to, I believe in that game, we'll figure it when we play it eventually. You have to, I believe, do freestyling, which the game does not necessarily tell you can do easily, and you play through the game again a second time. Where unlike this one, it doesn't really change a whole lot. It's not until its sequel, Gemr that it does that. Oh, fine, that sequel, and then Parappa the Rapper 2, which is on PlayStation 2. And it's on PlayStation 4 as well as download. That's the way to go because it's like a $90, $100 game on the PS2. I mean, it's up there with Guitar Man, honestly. You'll probably buy 10 copies of Unison for the same price, or a copy of that, and then the Space Channel 5 Special Edition that's on that.
The alien mothership's retreating. Don't you have to follow them, Channel
Yeah, they do have to follow them. We're not going to follow them. We're going to
Oh
go
yeah, so you actually completely skipped the Jaguar fight by going through that second path.
Well, that one,
And the
yes.
pudding fight in the first one.
Yes. So, and that's, but as I said, feasibly, like, we also skipped pudding as well for part 1. So actually what we're going to do is we're going to go back into 1. Oh, shit. Oh, no, I loaded that. That's fine. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do the 99%. I'll show you because there's one part of that. That's where the last, one of the last survivors I had in. I thought I didn't get it. Actually, I was looking at a little earlier today just to get a sense of, the last 2 I knew that I was missing, which is you go through the dining hall, the second play to get the other 2 people I mentioned. And then you have to go this path, and when you get to the part where there's people there, you have to technically play through it twice because there's like survivors 9 through 13, I think it is, and not survivor 11 does not appear unless you make a miss, essentially on where the people are. At first I thought, oh, I make any miss and they won't appear. Like, it changes that, and it goes to what I was saying, the idea that sometimes it'll change the patterns based around your movements.
Right.
Which I didn't know that, actually, until pretty recently on it. Alright, so I'm gonna let it go to this. Actually, you know what? I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. You're gonna hear this on the mic this way. You're gonna hear, like, a rumbling.
Oh.
Yeah, so, like, I've sometimes done that when I've had rumble cases of games. Like, when we did Star Fox 64, it's like, we're putting the rumble pack against the mic for the purpose of this, just to get a sense of, like, when that's running. I mean, just in case, like, when Proto and I are doing GoldenEye in August, because I have 2, third-party rumble packs on top of the Nintendo one, which is the one that's a Rock Rocker. It's from Newbie.
Jeez.
Or as the reviews on the Run program said, they joked saying, like, why do we love Newbie? We love Newbie because it rhymes with movie. But anyway, it's much stronger than Nintendo's Rumble Pack, so when you have batteries on that, it feels like you're getting hit feasibly with that. And you're playing a game like GoldenEye where you're shooting the gun constantly and, like, it's when the bullets are going out. That's the, where in this game, the only case you really get that is when you get a miss. Although, I mean, I guess you get cases as far as, like, the jump pack. Actually, we'll do that when we talk about Crazy Taxi at some point, which I gotta have to mute the mic on, or fine, mute the music on, but I can do that easy. But in that game, they actually have rumbling for the engine.
Okay.
So, like, when you do that, and Crazy Taxi 2 is the same way as well. Is that we have a bit of a gaping hole in the Dreamcast coverage on this show, and it's not for intention. It's not like, oh, we're ignoring the system. It's just that we've been requested stuff. I've said, like, we're gonna do stuff that's lined up, but I was like, we gotta do stuff for Dreamcast. We did Sonic Adventure 1. We've done some stuff sort of before this, and then the showcase at the Thanksgiving show we have is gonna be all Dreamcast.
Nice.
Generally speaking, although I will at that time, like we do with the shows, point out when they're on other systems, because there's cases where they are on other systems, like this one is. Because, hey, like, not everybody has a Dreamcast. I mean, honestly, if you're a retro gamer, I think there's a lot of reasons for you to get a Dreamcast. Feel free to, you know, see your piece on that one, as far as it.
So I'm a big RPG person.
Right.
I know that there's a couple of RPGs that ended up getting released.
They've taken
2 in particular were the Evolution games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were like a good, I guess, like starter RPG before I like started really getting into them.
Mm-hmm.
Time Stalkers was another one that was pretty good for what I played. I know that, you know, the original release of Shenmue was on the Dreamcast.
Oh yeah, we're
I
playing
know
Shenmue.
that's a big one for you.
It's a huge one for me.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to be doing Shenmue for sure. Next year, I want to make that happen for next year. I will, but I actually got to figure out the PC case because I have Shenmue 2 or Shenmue 3 on PC.
Oh.
Because I don't have PS4 for that.
Oh, damn.
Which is
I
fine.
might be having to bring my PS4.
Do you have Shenmue 3?
I have all 3 of them
Okay.
on the PS4.
Have you played Shenmue 3? What's your take on that?
I haven't played any of them since they released on the PS4.
I have it on the PC, it's fine, just that my setup, I can't do simultaneous streaming and playing on the PC I have for that. I tried it. I said, let me see. Just to see if that's a reason, and then we'll make the thing for that. Doesn't matter, they missed.
Yeah, no. I actually recently ordered a steelbook for Shenmue 3 that it was like surplus from Best Buy's DK site.
Uh-huh.
They canceled the damn order.
Oh, they did?
It was a $3 steelbook.
Really?
And I was like, oh, I'm gonna buy this because $3, why not? I have Shenmue 3, sure.
Uh-huh.
And you know I collect that kind of stuff.
Well,
so
yeah, I get that.
The fact that they emailed me the other day, they're like, oh, your order's canceled. I'm like,
oh.
Cool.
I know Edwack had that case with Target. He was really upset. I think it was a steelbook as well. I think it was for, was it the Pokemon Sword and Shield, I think?
Maybe.
Alright, but yeah, this is the new area, by the way. This is the, This is the lounge. So yeah, we're in the Spaceport Lounge,
Oh, it's right above the launch pad.
and I love that the idea that there's a topography to this, as far as these extra areas. It's like there's a whole world out there.
Let's shoot. Hit. Right, shoot. Left.
Yeah, as far as the RPG thing, just to go back to that, also, two I have, which are, Grandia 2, which I don't have on the Dreamcast, Amelia. I have it on the, I have it on the Switch. It's also on the PS2, where I think I said to Edwack, he's like, he played on the PS2, I said, you poor soul. It's a horrible port on that, and it was kind of horrible on the, Switch initially until they patched it, thankfully, and by the way, I'm missing also because you have to miss to get some of those survivors at this area for some reason. So you think, like, oh, put the autoplay mode, get them on. No, you can't.
Left, shoot. Right, shoot.
And also, the other one, as I mentioned, Skies of Arcadia, which is amazing.
Right.
It's too bad that game cost a fortune, and also because I mentioned the seizure case, and also because the GameCube version that cut it down looks worse and they compressed the audio, because the music in that game is amazing. You played Skies of Arcadia?
No, but I've heard really, really good things about
I
it.
have it. You should absolutely play it. It is a great, great game. It's probably one of the best, actually, probably is the best RPG on the system, which is saying a lot, because some good stuff. And Face Online, as well as for MMO case. You also do offline stuff with that.
I've heard a lot about Phantasy Star Online.
Which I hated initially when I played it. I bought it for the Sonic Adventure 2 demo, but eventually I was like, let me get into this, and then I realized I kind of started to go into it big. Although honestly, if you're gonna play it now, the version I'd say to get is on the GameCube. They did, what was it? It was Phantasy Star Online episodes 1 and 2, where Sega took Nintendo kicking and screaming online with the GameCube, by the way, for that, because Nintendo made the accessory for GameCube, but they didn't have any online games for it. But Sega said, no, we're putting this on. And they have an offline multiplayer mode for 4 players, which I think is the only version that has that. Even when they put it on the original Xbox, it didn't have that. I think it's actually online only on the Xbox. It's probably pretty worthless unless you can, like, get, like, custom servers. I know people have done that with the Dreamcast for Face Online and for some other stuff.
That shooting was pathetic.
What are you doing?
Actually, one thing also we're not going to see is that since I did so badly on that, but I'll show them in the character element. If I get my rating down low enough, we get this character here. I'll show you.
They've got
A space businessman. If you go high enough, it's a boy toy.
All right.
Why do I remember the boy toy, though?
You'll see the boy toy later. It's only 2, right? Right. So yeah, any screw ups are not gonna be good. I like to just headbang in there.
Whoops.
You get one mistake.
This is your last.
And your only chance, by the way. Up, down. Shit!
It was up.
Shit. Alright, that was my fault.
It's all over.
What are you?
Yeah, bad job, but okay, fine. This is it. We'll show off the characters themselves. I have them all.
I was
so.
gonna say, you have the profiles.
But also, this one, the go out of this, the last minute thing, this is the one in the game that is significantly different from every other one. Because every other one, you're hitting the A button for the chew thing. This is different.
Oh, watch out. You got a jump. I'll tell you when.
Oh, there's the explosion.
Get it up,
Here goes nothing.
up.
Ah, okay.
So in order to make the jumps, you have to do up instead of hitting the A button. I believe that's the only alternate thing in the game that does that.
That screws you up big time.
It does. They will tell you that, but also he says, like, I'll tell you when to jump, but you have to kind of listen to it. But also, they kind of screwed up on the audio for that, because, we'll go to,
It sounds like Chew.
well, not that it sounds like Chew even, but the idea is that if you miss that, it'll say up, but, if you hit it wrong, he'll say to you, like, what part of Chew did you not understand? Like, he didn't say it. You made a mistake, my friend. He didn't actually say that.
Yeah, they reused the assets from the other times when you're supposed to hit Chew.
Well, yeah, but also, not all of the dialogues for that necessarily say that, because he has, like, a couple. He's, like, either nice shooting, he's like, hoo, alright, or hoo, alright!
Yeah,
you want to do that right. Or he'll sometimes say, like, you know what, you gotta work on your shooting, like, hey, you lost your touch, or something like that. So they have some dialogue that will go to that, but for that, like, they forgot, like, oh, wait a minute, this is the one. But, like, it's one of those things where, it's these little nuances that way, but it's, like, it's the extra stuff, so you kind of give it a little more of a thing to it. It's small. It's not, look, it's not that this game is, super flawed to this. And by the way,
CEO, you've been controlling me.
I will show 2 things. I load the one up with 90% for a reason.
Okay.
I'm gonna fail this part intentionally. Because I want to get my rating at... Actually, wait a minute, hold on.
Oh yeah, you said that Space Michael doesn't show up if you get
Tonight I'll be
it.
giving you the real scoop behind
Yeah, okay, here's the thing. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my rating up to, or down to 85%.
Okay.
And then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put in the autoplay code again because I need my rating to be at least 90 in order to get to the next area. We went to the, we went to, like, the main area there when we went through this before.
Yeah.
But if you get that, you go to the broadcast station. And it actually creates, we were saying how sometimes it's hard to tell where the people are. It creates the hardest indication of that in the game.
Got it.
It's almost obscured. You have to pay attention to where the stars are above them, which is kind of the tell to some degree, but still.
Right, shoot, shoot.
Fine, we'll hold on at 85.
Right, hit.
Actually, they changed it there because it was up shoot when we did it before. It's right shoot now because I made some misses,
All right, but you got it at exactly 85. You're good.
which is fine. So let me put that code in. There we go.
goes.
Okay, so
Careful, the security system's been
and they don't care. They're like, yeah, who cares? I missed my cue.
Police spots.
Space robots.
Ah, this is different.
Yeah, we'll do this. I believe you still get Space Mike.
Police spot.
I believe you still get Space Michael first playthrough no matter what. But if on the later playthroughs, if you're between, I believe it's 85 and...
Right, left, down, shoot.
Or no, I think it's 75 to 87%, I believe. I think. If that's wrong, I'll put an edit here in the YouTube video. But that being said, you do have another play. I believe it is the same movements, generally speaking, as Space Michael, except you don't get that woo there for,
every time.
that. Which is, honestly, you do miss it, but then again, most of the time you're going to see that.
Right, left, down, down.
The first time you play, anyway.
Yeah.
Except you get the robots go, and that's an interesting case.
Which it sounds like it is the exact same movements.
Man, that ain't just good, that is.
But I said also, they'll change. Again, it's slight when they change if you do misses, but you do look for it and you will see it.
Shoot, shoot. Hit, hit, hit.
Alrighty.
Down, hit, down.
Actually, wait a minute. We're gonna miss it?
Shoot, shoot.
Shit, we're gonna miss it. Oh, fine. Fine, we
I did it.
Like 87.
Perfect, perfect, perfect.
well, okay, fine. I'll tell you what we're gonna do. I'll show the robot thing here. Yeah, they'll walk along with me.
Different animation.
They animated the robot.
Yep.
Yeah, you could go control them. All right, fine. We'll play and I'll load that again. I'll put the code in to start and I'll let it run that way. And then we'll look at the character profiles. Yeah, because, like, wait, I know I have to have it low. I want to at least show that part off, but sometimes you do run in that case of, wait a minute, it's too high. So, like, if I came in there with 100%, well, fine. It would be fine for the purpose of what we're running, but still, it's something that you want to make sure that you have it set. But, all right, well, let's do that, and then we will go to that. So, yeah, we are learning these things, or I'm learning some of these things. I know you're saying you are as well. And to go into that, I mean, to go back to the Dreamcast stuff as far as, like, some of the stuff with the RPGs. Yeah, the thing is that, I'll tell you, I'm going to put in the code first quickly. That.
There it goes.
Okay, so, I think above anything else, I'll give maybe one thing that I didn't put into my final piece on this from before, which is that since there are people in the chat, it's like, hey, they either didn't have a Dreamcast or don't have a Dreamcast, and why is the idea that this is worth having one of these things? Because the games that were on it, even in the short time it was on the market, there were a lot of things to pick from in a lot of different genres. I mean,
Yeah.
there are many more RPGs on the Dreamcast than there were on, like, the Nintendo 64. You could, like, it's like double, maybe, quintuple, basically,
Yeah,
for
I mean,
RPG.
the N64 seemed like it was more for, like, the platformer type.
That's true. I mean, I could count all the RPGs on the system with my one hand, which would be Paper Mario, which, yeah, he will be on when we eventually get to doing that game. 80 Chronicles of the First Mage, and here's supposed to be horrible. Quest 64, that's experience.
I have that one.
Yeah, that is an interesting one in a not good way, but it
I'm
is...
the only person who likes it, I swear.
Well, no, I mean, I get why, and it's one of those cases I've talked to people saying, like, you know what, it kind of had some big shoes to fill. There's that one, okay, there's Ogre Battle 64 Person Voter Caliber. which is on the Wii U. There's a download on that. And it's from Atlas who published it, and it was Quest who did the development, who did the other ones. They did them on Super Nintendo. There's a couple on the PlayStation and Saturn. I don't know if you ever played those Ogre Battle games. I have the Super Nintendo one on the Wii Virtual Console. I've never played it. I bought it years ago before they got rid of it. I was like, well, it's supposed to be like a strategy RPG, and you could sort of count. You're familiar with StarCraft, yes?
Yeah.
It's on Nintendo 64. Nintendo published it.
Yeah.
And so they have that on. So if you want to count that way, that's like 5, 6.
I mean, if you're going that route, then they also made the Command and Conquer games.
That's true. Yeah, they made the first one on the.
If you're talking about strategy RPGs and lumping that in, then yeah.
May as well. No, so I mean, what I'm saying is that the Dreamcast itself, there are a lot of different games that covering a bunch of genres, and also, I'll tell you, it's games like this, the one we're seeing right now, Space Channel 5, they made me love this system, because you think, yeah, Sega, you know, took a shot on this and lost the shirt because the system died and this game did not sell well, but they had the gumption to make this. It's not really like anything else, even with like the idea that it's, you know, it plays like the directional case of like a music game.
Yeah.
It's that feel. It's that style to it.
That's
and there are a lot of games on the system that are like that.
And that's exactly it. You know, with what we were talking about with the music in this game, there's a lot of games on the Dreamcast I noticed that do really, really well with the music.
Uh-huh.
I mean, Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 are prime examples.
Yes, they are.
If you go into Crazy Taxi,
Taxi, yes.
I mean, I've only ever played the first one, but to have like a majority of your soundtrack be made up of The Offspring, I'm down.
Well, then you'd like 2 because 2 is all Offspring.
Yeah, I'm down. Like, I'm definitely all for that. So, I mean, there are a lot of games that really did exceedingly well.
Jet Set Radio.
Right. Like, I don't know. Maybe it was just like that was the genre at the time that was like just really popular with this system, and that was, I guess, what they figured their best sellers.
But they're playing around with different stuff because you hear like Sonic Adventure. You mentioned that it has like elements of like jazz and R&B and rap.
I mean,
like
the opening
trance.
cutscene was enough for me.
Well, yeah, with Open Your Heart. Yeah, we do have the other path, by the way, now, which is the broadcast station. And we can still keep going in this Dreamcast stuff, because, I mean, that's the thing, like...
I like that door.
Yeah, the 5 door. Yeah, this is Channel 5. So that's the idea, and they do the walkthrough. I think they kind of started there, but yeah, whatever. Yeah, we're at the recording studio, so basically this is where they would do the in-studio broadcast. So I guess Lula is the roving reporter, pretty much, because she goes out there for the purpose of that. But yeah, this is what the studio looks like.
It's time for the news.
Yeah, save them. And since the game is all playing itself, yeah, we're gonna save every one of them. So yeah, I mean, in terms of that, I mean, that's I think the thing about the Dreamcast, that there's such a wide variety of stuff on it, and the styles of it, and the quality of it. I mean, look, there are bad games on this system, for sure, like any system, but it seems like all of the great games that you got, whether they're games that I played, you played, both of us played, or maybe even none of us played, there's that quite a... I'll tell you, this is really the system that, to me, kind of expanded my horizons so much for a lot of genres, and RPGs to a certain extent. I played stuff on the Super Nintendo, generally as far as RPGs, but still, some of that stuff on the Dreamcast, like Skies of Arcadia, and there are games on this thing that were not like anything else that I played at the time, Space Channel 5 being one of them. I mentioned Sony Amigo, and just a lot of other styles of it, and it seemed like the quality was really high, even a lot of other companies, generally speaking. And there's like such a great variety of what it had. Alright, so yeah, we have the game show, by the way.
Oh, cool.
I love it.
Alien abduction.
Yeah, the alien abduction quiz. Yeah, so here's what you gotta do. You have to pay attention in the UFOs where the people are, so you have to very specifically see where those stars are. And honestly, they are blending in with the graphics.
Yeah.
So,
Big time.
it's not going to be a case where it's going to be easy. Unless you have audio play like I do.
Yeah, no, that's
So, yeah, that is where... These are some of the hardest things in the game for the rescues for that reason specifically. But, still, it is something that, well, it gives you more of a breadth of what this area is, what the areas in this game are, and also give you more of a challenge. Like, yeah, if maybe it was too easy for you, it's like, yeah, try pay attention to where those people are in the UFOs.
forget it.
Where the glass is on top of, like, the way the colors of the stars there.
I swear this entire game is a freaking fever dream.
You think?
I mean, it's not a bad way.
Well, no, I'm not saying it's a bad way. I mean, maybe, but also, as I said, because here's the other thing. Oh, right, you also have this.
Who is this?
This is the Kung Fu Man, I believe, or the Space Kung Fu Man, yeah.
Why?
Because why not? That's really the answer to anything when you say why on this game. But I guess to go to the idea, like, the Fever Dream case, because like, well, okay, the 60s influence, I said, like, the psychedelic rock thing. There's that.
Okay. See, that's the whole thing. Once you bring back, like, the 60s influence on it, it starts to make a bit more sense because, like, it's not supposed to make sense.
Well, I mean, some ways, but I mean, also, I didn't mention this earlier, but the thing with Ula, they had a lot of inspiration as far as her as a character. Part of that, they were familiar with, I don't know if you're familiar with this, Barbarella.
Yeah. Jane Fonda.
Yeah, Jane Fonda, so they were going into that. What was that spinning? Oh, the Space Kung Fu Man? Or all the people? Yeah, he is spinning there, and we were gonna get him taken care of. Get the, I'm trying to remember the name of, who's the artist who does Kung Fu fighting?
Oh, God.
I'll put an edit in. I should know. Or whom. Oh, you're gonna be doing that for me, thank you.
Oh, I'm gonna be looking at Spotify. Give me a sec.
Don't play it because otherwise.
I'm not playing it. Don't worry.
Oh, Carl Douglas.
Douglas.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, we both got it at the same time. I was like, I just was trying to remember. Not that I was looking it up. I was like, I remembered.
No.
I should know because it was in Lego Rock Band.
No,
And
I just,
also
have to,
Band
I
Hero.
just have to do a search of the song title and it'll tell me the artist.
And also Band Hero as well at it. Also, interesting enough, it's in the family-friendly Lego Rock Band game. I was telling you about that game because you're like, is this real? I was like, no, it is. It's a family-friendly slot list. They're doing the Kung Fu moves.
I love this.
But interesting enough, it is sort of family-friendly in that game, even though it's the only song in the game that has a racial slur in it. But, that's neither here nor there.
Okay, so this replaces the area with the keyboard girl.
Yes.
And now you're going on to the evil fight like normal.
And you know, what I'm going to do is just for the purpose of this, since we have that going, and so it'll take us out to the credits again, and also because, you know, I think we should just show the full look at this one more time, and then we'll look at the character stuff. It'll take us up to a good 3 hours. Let's do this. So now we can also, look, we deserve this, or you deserve this for, you know, getting us to it. Look, I probably would have failed this more if it would have been just me handling it. You did that with absolute aplomb, the friend, so thank you very much for that. But yeah, we'll get to enjoy more of the stuff with that, and we can also look at what you were saying, because I was noticing some of those things, I guess, as far as the details, because I'll say one other thing, and this is kind of going to, because like, you don't get many shots of, like, their dresses, basically?
Yeah, well, yeah, obviously, like, they're not going to show upskirt shots, because...
They sort of do, though.
You see, like, the little bit of it in the background. Like, if you look behind, like, their lining on the front, you can see the coloration underneath. And, like, when she does her dips, you could see how, yeah. And, like, when she does the kicks right, you can see it.
Which...
It's like a dark red.
Yeah, that goes to one thing also, I'll say this, and I kind of want to bring it up that way, because the Space Channel 5 games, this one in particular, this game is rated teen, for like 13 and up. Even at the time, I never really understood it on this one, except for maybe one thing where seeing one of the character profiles, but even that's very mild, whereas, I'll say the second one, I kind of get it with the second one, because of the part in the second one where she's held with the tentacles. I'll put a picture of what that's looking like in this. She's kind of like holding that way, like doing the shooting.
Definitely haven't played that far in the second one.
Well, as I said, you've called dibs, or I've called dibs for you feasibly on the second one, so we'll run that and we'll do that HD version.
I'll be practicing that one.
Yeah, specifically, but I mean, at that case, like, we'll do that one, because, like, if there's button lag in that, and I believe you that there must be. Although, weirdly enough, when I played it, I got the sense it was more forgiving than this one, but I don't know. I mean, maybe it's the kind of thing that it's more forgiving in one way, but not in another. I would think, maybe.
You see it really well in these shots, where you kind of...
So you sort of get it, but here's the weird thing also, is that it's like, I mentioned this on the show before, I mentioned Kiki's Delivery Service. It's a case where you do get the shots of, like, her bloomers, as they call it, but it's weird. I don't necessarily got the sense that it was necessarily intended as sexual, even though the idea of this game is that there's the idea of, like, being, like, the space reporter, the hot space reporter, and even something that Tetsuya Mizuguchi said about this game, he was marketing this, and he said, I see this game as I don't know if this is 100% quotation, but I'll get as close as I can. I'll get a link to it later to reference that. He said, I see this game as a reflection of love, and that this is a game where you're basically making love around the world instead of something else. So in that way, every time I go into work, I'm making love with Ulala.
Oh, okay, well...
Well, what were you going to say then about the other case?
No, I was going to say, in terms of, like, spreading love and everything, that's kind of what I got from the final message in this game.
Yeah.
Like, everyone coming together and, like, spreading a message of peace and joy and, like, all that.
Right.
You know, it's some real kumbaya shit.
Yeah, when three were standing on the circles lit like that, it reminded me of Star Trek, so beam me up, Scotty. And I think that's a take too, and something from the 60s, which also a lot of Star Trek stuff does go into that, you're right.
Yeah.
That intergalactic, understanding case. So, I mean, as I said, I don't know if this said specifically on Star Trek. I know Barbarella this said, I know that thing with the, make love, not war idea, or fine, the make love concept as far as what Mizuguchi said in an interview. I think it was the Dreamcast magazine saying that. But, so, I think that was the idea of, so, here's the right thing. We're saying this game doesn't make sense, we're also saying, we're basically trying to extrapolate that thought of, what do we think it means, which is not necessarily a 100% answer.
I mean, it's not, here's the thing. It's not like the references, to a certain degree, aren't clear.
Right.
You can really see where the inspiration was drawn from. I mean, obviously, you do get the 60s vibe from it. You get that whole kind of, peace, love, and harmony kind of deal. Mm-hmm. Because that was pretty much the whole message of the 60s.
Yeah, and DollyFinn agrees with you. I agree with what Crochet Nerd 64 says about the kumbaya. He's like, you're right.
Yeah.
Because that was a big thing to that.
That's literally the entire purpose of that decade.
Right.
Make peace, not war.
Right, and at some point we'll also get into that, I guess, with some other games. It was, so DollyFinn agrees with you that way. And also, we'll get into that, I guess, when we get more games as far as, 60s perioding, and I guess feasibly any of the games connected to Vietnam that came out, of which there were a couple in the 2000s, of which I would actually like to show off. I don't know if you played this. Was Men of Valor.
No.
Okay, it was on a good message to that. Yeah, but in that game, that was an interesting one. It was on the Xbox and was on the PC. It was from 2015, the team who made Medal of Honor Allied Assault. And it was a first-person shooter set in Vietnam, and the idea of that game, one thing I thought was very interesting about it, is that it's very cover-based, as far as the idea of you're in the deep brush of Vietnam, trying to shoot that way, but also it's the kind of thing that, we're saying, the perspective of that messaging, that game has it when you get a game over, and this is something I find really interesting that they do. They play that emotion to it. It's a mature-rated game intensely in the sense of its violence and its language, but it's authentically so. So it's not like, oh yeah, they're pushing. It's not like Devil's Third on Wii U, which I was telling you the stories about, where it's totally nuts. But in the case of that game, when you get a game over, they send the letter to your family.
Oh, that's dark.
They do, and they say, we regret to inform you that your son was killed at this date, and when you think about, I'll tell you one thing that maybe, I guess I sort of advocate on the show, the idea of gaming as an art form, the idea that there was a game that was able to do that, and do it that well, because there were a lot of games based in Vietnam at the time, like Shell Shock Nam 67 and Viet Cong Purple Haze, which were horrible games, on top of just feeling like they were off to some degree on top of some of the things, but Man of Valor is the one that really did it right. And it is a unique one. You think, you don't get that often as far as, a war game for that. So you can also get an idea of, as I said, a different vast world out, and that'll be the case when 6 Days in Fallujah, which is initially in development in the 2000s, it got revived, and they're basically going to bring it out. So, it means just to see what that's going to be taking. And, a game looking into something like that, and then also contrast with something like Space Shuttle 5 with that. I mean, we're talking, the 60s perspective.
Yeah.
But that's the interesting idea to that. And I guess that's the interesting thing about this game specifically, I guess, because you think, this is a game, I guess they were trying to aim this at a female audience, but then again, it's also something that you and I are...
It's wholesome.
It's wholesome, and so I question the teen rating on this one. Number one, I played it when I was underage, specifically, so, it didn't matter to me.
Same.
But hey, I don't think there's anything anyone's gonna look at this oh, really, it seems like it's that off, really. But I think also, as you're saying, just the idea that it has this unique views. I mean, we're two men in our 30s who are sitting here playing this game, saying, we're loving this. But it also seems like, I know, DollyFinn, you mentioned you have an attachment to this game specifically as well when we played Mirror Children 2 last week. So you get that it is this game that kind of is casting a wide net as far as an appeal, and also something that it is an interesting, I guess, twist when you really think about it, the idea of even the thought of it, because at first I thought, wait a minute, if we're saying, this peace concept, is it weird that Uo is shooting the guns with the Mongolians, although actually, according to the lore, that it's not actually hurting them.
But that's the whole thing. You brought that up earlier, and I was like, well, if it's not actually hurting them, then it's...
But the game is not, explicitly stating that, but you're like, okay, fine, she has to sort of defend herself a little bit to some degree.
Sure.
But now at this point, yeah, there we all are. By the way, I'm also turning the volume down one more time. It's I'm just a little questioning on that, Mexican, and by the way, we know 100%, he says, you're the coolest.
Oh, nice.
So you do get that. And the colors, yes. The colors for sure.
I think it's really, when brought up the fact that it was supposed to be aimed more at like a female audience.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
I mean, obviously playing this game 22 years ago, why would I have known that?
Well,
so the fact
unless they told you, because nowadays you do get everybody talking about what is their intention with the game when they're marketing it or saying like, we have a game coming out in 6 months. What are we doing with it? They would say that.
I just bought it used, so I didn't know. I was a kid. I was like, yeah, sure.
Right.
But the fact that it was aimed at more of a female audience, I'm like, this is really interesting because I don't really get that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I understand, with the pastels and kind of, with the strong female lead kind of deal, and I mean, it's really cool in that way. I won't say it's feminist.
Well, I mean, you could say it is to a certain degree.
Why
not?
not?
Why not?
Because you have Fuse the whole way guiding you.
Well, he is guiding you, but again, remember, you have to save him, because remember, at the end, he's taken hostage, so you have to kind of get him out of the way, the idea that it's kind of this mutual thing of the idea of what that is.
Yeah, I still won't call it feminist.
Well, fair enough. I mean, that's that idea. I mean, or like DollyFinn saying, it's like Yellow Submarine from the Beatles from 1968, which is fitting, and that's also like the Lego Rock, not the Lego Rock Band game, the Beatles Rock Band game that came out at the same time. That definitely goes in that pastel case. I'll put the picture of that, because that's pretty much the extent, I think, to which we can get to that game, because it's going to be content strike like hell on that, but it's incredible as far as what it was. It was fun thinking about. All right, we have one more thing, by the way, DollyFinn, for the purpose of this game. We were showing off all the characters because we went through the purpose of unlocking them. And we'll go on that. And the one indication, maybe this was the teen rating, but I said it's mild. This was before the E10, the everyone 10 and up rating existed.
Oh,
I would think this would be a perfect one to do for the re-rating if they're like, hey, they're going to re-release this again.
Listen, I'm still waiting for the re-release on the Switch.
I would think then, and the psychedelic cause, yeah, absolutely. I mean, the only question I would say is like real licensing that would be for the Mexican Fire thing, but I don't know how it was, because they said specifically this was hard to license the first time only because nobody ever really licensed it since the 60s. And then the Michael Jackson question, which that's going to be the question because, in fact, there it is, Mexican Flyer by Ken Woodman and his Piccadilly
So
Brass.
here's my question for you. You said Ken Woodman passed, yeah?
The year this game came out on US,
so
unfortunately.
because he passed, who do those rights go to?
I don't know. I'll do a look in on the YouTube
I'm
site, see if I can
so
get
curious because now if they're kind of like, I don't know if they're like free domain or whatever, but if they're free domain, that means they're up for grabs.
Well, I'll bring up. We were talking Crazy Taxi before. I'll bring this up when we play that in a couple months because that's gonna be part of that showcase. By the way, but for that game, they have the licensed places you can go to, like Pizza Hut and KFC and Fila and Tower Records.
Yes.
Tower Records is out of business.
Yes.
So, does that mean necessarily that there's an ownership to that still somehow? Because they've re-released Crazy Taxi a couple times. In some areas, they didn't have those licenses. The PSP version didn't have it. The 360 PS3 version, PC version didn't have it. And then I think the mobile version didn't have it either. The PS2 and the GameCube ports of it did. And also, so did Crazy Taxi 3 on the Xbox, which I mentioned. The voice of Fuse in this game, David Nolan, is Big Spite in that game.
What's the name of the song?
Mexican Flyer.
Doing a little bit of a Google search.
Well, that's fine. That I appreciate that for the person. Oh no, I can turn this back up, by the way, for the the song to this. But
Sega bought the rights to the song and now permanently owns it.
So you know what? I might have been totally because here's the thing. I'll say this: we might be fine, maybe with because I was questioning whether this is a licensing case on that. We might be fine then, maybe because okay.
I mean, it's literally the first search that comes up.
Awesome. Okay.
So. Sega owns these rights.
So that might be okay. I mean, I don't know. Look, I'll see. When I upload this a couple days, I'm gonna say, hey, there's a content flag. That'll be one thing. We'll know then. But it's like, well, either or. So that
I don't
gets
know
to
if
that.
Sega's gonna come after you.
I don't think. Look, I think. Look, if anybody from Sega is gonna come to the show, I think they're gonna see like, here's some random guy who won't shut the hell up. Along with
he has an intense love for the brand.
Intense love for the brand. I mean, my logo for the show is the Sega thing. For God's sake, you're seeing that. On my desktop with the PC I'm running this on, it's that thing with all these sprites from like Sega era. You know my love of Sega goes insanely deep.
Yes, it is.
So I think Sega's gonna look at that and say like, well, this is this idea of them,
It'd be like, all right, back off of him. He's a fanboy. It's cool.
Well, here's the thing. I'm a fanboy, but I'm also somebody who is also gonna be honest to that because I said with the Michael Jackson connection, that would be like the maybe question on the re-releasing this. Oh. And we have... It's doing it. It doesn't matter.
Oh, I forgot. Autoplay's still on!
We don't have to do it. See, there you go. For all the people who love music, dancing, and games. Yeah, indeed. DollyFinn agrees with that. But, yeah, to that, because Sonic Origins is out in a couple weeks. And as I mentioned, Sonic 3, there's music from Michael Jackson. He did it, and as Lake first pointed out, the thought was that he first was questioning the tech of the Genesis as far as being able to, run that for the tech for it, so for his music. In fact, Stranger in Moscow. You familiar with that song is? The theme song, the credits music of Sonic 3 is that song.
Okay.
He wrote it for that, and they put it into his own song later. And also, what we're gonna do last is we're gonna look through all
I
the
don't know
characters.
if I ever beat Sonic 3.
The Barrel of Doom, probably, right? Okay, so what I did is I loaded my file that I've had since probably 2000, honestly. But we're gonna go to the character profiles. We're gonna look at every
it
single.
only shows up if you have the correct file loaded?
Well, because what happens is when you have, excuse me, when you have a file loaded. In fact, let's show that. Let's load another
Because
one.
I noticed before you had one that wasn't like fully complete or whatever.
Okay, so let's load the one we've been running with. Yeah, it shows a 98%. Somehow I got a bunch of them despite that, so let's load this here as 100%. So what we're gonna do is, I said, it'll go through that, and that's how I went those backdoor ways. All right, so here's our main character, was Cherry Vanilla Ice Cream. She signed her first big news job report on the invasion by the Moroleans. And you get these just by playing through. You can't miss these.
Damn, that was her first big news report?
Yeah, which I guess goes to Space Channel 5 Part 2, where that's her next case. And they do singing in that, which I do love that. And yeah.
Former teen idol. That makes sense.
Yeah, former teen idol, and she's her taupe.
2 news shows since her 16th birthday. Whose favorite color is taupe?
I don't know.
Come on!
I love that, though.
So, like, okay, you know what color taupe is, right?
I'll put a picture in the YouTube site of what
Taupe
it is.
is like, it's not pretty.
What is it?
Taupe is like a beigey kind of like greenish tone.
Uh-huh.
Like
No one says DollyFinn.
yeah, it's not like the prettiest color in the world. It's almost like that sheet that you have over there. I know nobody can see that.
I'll take a picture of what that is to get the
yeah,
color.
it's almost like that. It's like a shade of brown.
Okay, well, fine. Then what's the best scent is probably not gasoline of Jaguar, who is the.
I can't say anything because I actually like the smell of gas.
To be honest, I'm okay with it too. It's not like I'm gonna be case that, but yeah, he's the old guy here. He's 35 years old. He's.
Well, I mean, listen, he's within our age demographic.
I guess so. But yeah, he has a mysterious past. And it's like, yeah, it's the rogue ship Go-Go.
He killed a guy. That's why.
Probably, for all we know. You're right. Yeah, me too. So, okay, did you expect when we came out of this that we're going to talk about how much we love the scent of gasoline on the program? I love that. You're not getting another game stream that's ever going to be like this.
Doesn't surprise me though. I mean,
No.
let's be real.
Fair enough. Yeah,
Favorite
you're
color
right.
plaid.
Okay,
All
that's
right.
that a little more. So that's blank.
It's better.
He's with a purpose driven by the thrill of ratings and the man's saloon. So, all right, fair
Clearly.
enough. And here's
Space
Michael Jackson.
Michael.
Space Michael Jackson. Here he is. Legend has he saved the Earth from certain demise using its dance energy, which was when the planet was attacked by aliens 500 years ago, which...
That's a reference to what the hell was the name of that?
Moonwalker?
No, it was a Disney attraction.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Commander K? Commander... Oh, I forget what the hell the name of it is.
There's gonna be a link here, and also you'll be looking at. But
I'm about to
also,
look it up.
it also I think it's kind of a take on, as mentioned, Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. Because in that game, there's Mecha Jackson, the King of Robopop, and I'll put a picture of that too, where you basically shoot missiles out to save everybody.
I mean...
Yeah, I guess also his plaid color is the idea of DollyFinn. I think so. It can be both. It can be made of a material, and then also I guess maybe plaid as far as like the silver sort of.
Plaid's a pattern.
Okay.
It's a pattern. Captain EO. That was the name
Captain
of the
Neo,
attraction.
thank you. Okay. Then I wanted to edit that, but yeah, that is the idea that
Trying
that's
to
how,
save you some research.
Well, that being said, well, this is not going to be a long edit. At least nothing else can be like the 3-hour
Yeah.
case, which is fun. But it's that there is the beat it look or beat it movement, as DollyFinn was mentioning, and so yeah, there you go. And as I said, they only
He's
put
doing the Thriller dance too.
and he's doing Thrill Dance, which is interesting because in Michael Jackson's Moonwalker, the Genesis game, they have the Thriller Dance, but not every copy of the game has the Thriller music for some reason.
Copyright.
No,
Well-
they had copyright.
Oh yeah, if it's
taken
Michael
care of.
Jackson, of course they would.
But
duh.
some copies of the game, they play another part of me. I'm like, why? I don't understand that. And it's also another game that costs a lot of money, but it's one that, as soon as he passed away in 2009, the thought was people wanted to hold on to that and get it, hold on to that game, pretty much.
I love that they have the Thriller choreo. in
I know,
there.
it's amazing.
That's amazing.
Okay, so now let's talk the Earthlings, and they do have new for like ones I haven't watched. But yeah, we're gonna go through all of these because me as well.
Very plebeo.
Yeah, they have the story and the names of everybody, which
That's
I do love that.
amazing.
So it is, as we mentioned, this big backstory of what it is. The complete lack of sequence of humor. First victim to put on the trance. So in the opening cutscene we saw, he's the first guy we saw, which honestly explains it and like why he's holding the wrench.
Come on, backstory. Sport Logan.
Yeah, russet. I don't know.
Russet is like...
I know the
like,
potato case.
It's like a rusty kind of color.
Okay.
It's like an orangey red.
Yeah, the Crochet Nerd moniker is living up to that way. Cause you know that idea.
Oh yeah, you know color's my thing.
No, absolutely. So thank you for that. He's a jolly man, works at spaceport at night, and fights crime in the evening. Is a backgammon fan.
He's a vigilante!
And
He's Batman!
we've brought that up before, that idea of like elements of Batman connected. So yes, I'll take that SuperOldGameSaturday narrative of that. He's Batman. Stretch Kajui, so I guess I'm getting the Banjo-Kazooie look from the name, but
Yeah.
who likes to play basketball, so that's like Knight. He's probably an energetic backgammon player. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Vanilla.
Yeah, vanilla. It's a good flavor.
I mean, I'm down.
Yeah, he belongs to an amateur basketball league, so it's like Elliot from Knights. So that goes to that.
Oh, there's the waitress, Jody Bunt.
Yeah, Jody Bunt works at the dining hall, saving money to eventually purchase a large gold brick. No one knows why.
I love... Please. I love that. Nobody knows why.
Well, I mean, it could be that idea of, she thinks, like, the market's going bad, it's like, all the money's gonna save in gold or something, I don't know.
Well, that's my question now. With how far in the future they are, what's the value of gold?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe part 2 goes into that.
Yeah, right.
Or maybe the VR game goes into that. It's so funny. Yeah, I agree. Brenda Boggs, her job is to assist the passengers and guests who get lost in the spaceport, but she's able to misdirect people at times.
So she's not good at her job.
She's sort of good at her job selectively.
Ground crew.
Yeah. Serve characters the check-ins, like guess their ages and then find out how they are from their space passports, so they make a game out of it.
I mean, listen, if you gotta make your job interesting, I guess that's one way to do it.
Or, like on The Simpsons, the idea is like, you know what, you have to lick all these, you're making me lick, envelopes, like, it's fine, just make a game of it. What kind of game? Well, see how many you're gonna lick in an hour, and then try to break that record.
Yeah.
Sounds like a pretty crappy game to me. Yes, well, get started. Alright, so, and that's the other thing, bring out anything else you got as far as something like that. Alright, here's Lex Banana Esquire.
Alright.
Okay, honestly, I'm gonna tell you, I have not necessarily seen all of these either, so they're gonna be me finding out.
I'm loving the way they spell galaxy.
Or Galaxy, which I think that might potentially be intended unless...
Yeah, I mean, it's play on words.
Right, so alright. He felt many nervous tics is only quelled when he's in flight. Alright, so yeah, he was bullied, so that's the idea of how it is.
Millicent Rose.
Yeah, Millicent Rose. Favorite planet is Venus. We mentioned we're doing Sailor Moon's story, going back to that in 2 weeks for the next part of that. DollyFinn's case is Sailor Venus is her favorite that way, so that's the idea.
That's not the old lady, is it?
No, we'll see the old lady. Her students to fish and teacher art extermination.
She's a spy trainer.
Oh, there you go.
That makes sense.
Here's Glenda Glorati. She was hard to get because I mentioned that area when we were in that walk past.
Oh, yeah.
She's the one you have to miss in order to pull out.
I love...
Age fabricated.
I love it! Oh my god, I love it. That is so in line with the character.
Yeah, her abilities are deteriorated by way of excess partying, limiting her...
Drugs.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, there are probably a lot of cases that limited appearances of those on television where the question is, like, is it gonna be, like, going, like, 60s, 70s things? If you're familiar with Sid Nancy.
No.
If you're familiar with Sid Vicious of the Sex Pistols.
Okay.
He was, like, totally drugged, massive, drug-addled. And that movie of Gary Oldman, who's, like, going in this public persona. It is unbelievably harrowing and amazing. I love her. Okay, so DollyFinn is loving this perspective as well, along with Pudding's henchmen. So yeah, fanboys of Pudding's have followed her since days of child stardom. Wasn't so long until she took pity on them and said, like, fine, you're coming on as our backup
Official
dancers.
backup dancers, I love it.
And I mentioned Lug Messing, who is connected to Jaguar, who's baritone. So when you get that Jaguar,
yes,
I do love that touch too, with his element of caramel.
That's so fun. Xavier Gaboot.
Yeah, he loves Pig as well.
Okay.
Proud man who washes his hair exotic oils, but doesn't realize that that's why he has terrible acne. But he's in a helmet, so we're never going to see that.
That's
acne.
making it worse.
Or it's like a Halo with Master Chief. Like he never takes that helmet off until I believe the TV series. I think one of the games.
I'm just saying it keeps all the oils in.
Yeah, that's even worse. It's like take your helmet off, kiddies, when you're doing that.
Bianca
Bordeaux. A rocket ship on road ship Go-Go. She's a very key player in Search for the Truth, so she's helping out Jaguar. She likes orange.
I didn't realize that he had any female henchmen, groupies,
whatever. I'm trying to remember maybe where she appears. I can also look up to see where that is, because I looked at a FAQ to the purpose of where that is. Well, you said, even I'm not knowing all of these backgrounds to all this stuff for this game. We've been playing this game 22 years to this day, so there you go. Yeah, so Solomon Swing, he works part-time so he can catch soap operas during the day. Hey, my brother was huge into Days of Our Lives back in the 90s specifically, and that was like his cousins got him into that.
If you look at the hands, though, of like certain frames, you know those like pencil topper erasers that you put on?
You're right.
That's what they look like, the little rubber
Right there.
erasers you would stick on top.
Oh my god, I mean, that is true.
Oh, gotta love the polygons.
Well, which is weird, because also this did have a lot of polygons, even like some games that came from PlayStation in the system, they didn't enhance it, like I remember, Spider-Man, which will play on Dreamcast when we do that. They did that so the hands were like fists on PlayStation, like sort of fingers on this system a little bit.
Right.
Alright, State, Terrence Dragoon, booming voice, nobody suspects that his house is filled with lace. Alright, there you go, so there you go, it's nice stuff.
Virgil McMiddy.
Yeah, he loves to be, he's a mechanic, goes to space, practices space bamboo dance, and he'll just shout bamboo randomly. Yes, they do. Okay, so there you go. It's like, this is, yeah, the chat's loving this too. Mr. Jolie. He's nervous, unreliable, and undependable, and he's the teacher.
Yeah, he's the guy that you see in the opening cutscene of the second area, and then the guy running away at the boss fight.
Yeah, because he's the one who takes the kids to the field trip there. Faith Anthony, like, here's some of the girls. I guess, because I think when you beat some of the bosses, yeah, he was playing with jazz hands, is what she was saying, and I get that idea. Okay, Dreamcast become the best computer program in the galaxy and endures antennas. So this is Faith Anthony. I guess it's the idea that I think you're saying we didn't have the thing for Jaguar for a female person. I think for some of these things you do earn them by getting other characters and not necessarily seen. I think. If that's wrong, I'll put it at it, but that's the idea.
Yeah, these are all the kits that you saved from the alien.
Yeah, the number 7. Convinced of the existence of a wild space dragon. She wants to find it. Her friends think she's insane, but she probably is. Okay, so that's not necessarily, you know.
I had no idea that was supposed to be a girl with the way that she's designed.
Well, sometimes you get that weird case for some
She's wearing a hood.
Yeah, I think that.
The Luba Boriskovsky.
Okay, you did better than I could on that
got
one.
It.
Yeah, so.
Oh, that's Antenna.
Okay, so there you go. Alright, so he's a class leader, takes pride in unusual hairstyles and his secret collection of trading cards with slatternly dames. That's the other take of like 60s. Slatternly, I don't even know if I know that word that way.
I was gonna ask you what it meant.
I guess we're gonna find out, so
give me a sec.
Alright. Look, I'm not asking him to do this, it's like just to do purposes, he just wants to.
I have a natural curiosity, I can't. It's a dirty, untidy woman.
Okay, so like, he has, well hey, I mean, that's that idea. Adventurous girl hopes to become a journalist in the footsteps of Ola. He's a diary and writes secret things about her friends.
Aw, that's cute.
Gretchen Godot. It's like, I guess, going back to, like, waiting... Yeah. Yeah, that's an interesting case. Always dressed in gaily bold, fancy pattern. She hides her colleagues a dark side.
She also killed somebody.
I would think that, or we're talking 60s, 70s. I know we've mentioned Divine on the show before, Pink Flamingos, which is basically the idea that if you've never seen that movie, an X-ray movie that definitely deserves that rating, the idea is, like, it's set in Baltimore. It's like these people, like, trying to become the filthiest people alive, and there's these insanely dark, insanely twisted things that they do for that, and it's like Divine trying to weed the fact like, no, we're the filthiest people alive, not these, you know, sophisticates out in Baltimore. We're out in our trailer, out in the hills.
I love Divine.
I do too, as far as that movie specifically, just because it's so strange and bizarre. Yeah, think if there was a game based on that.
Oh,
yeah.
Talk about an adults-only rating.
Yeah, no question. Same with the movie. All right, so here's Melanie McBean. Her pink uniform is popular among the tourists. So the 60s case of like that idea of like flight attendants for like United or American or TWA.
Wearing the pillbox hats and everything.
Yeah. Her husband's a former game producer, so video gaming did exist back or in this later on. It's still gonna hang around.
Hunk Smith.
A closet intellectual, he acts dumb to impress women. So, which is I guess an interesting thing. Like, well, fine, they'll think he's dumb, but then they realize, oh wait, no, he's smart. So they kind of like that maybe more.
Or Tennessee.
Okay, this is the reason I thought maybe the teen rating potentially, because she's like. She has a heart-shaped birthmark in a very private place, but even then it's kind of, you know, nebulous.
Yeah, they don't say anything. Her favorite number is pi.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey.
It's also a good food as well.
That's an Earthling?
That Shinichiro Tachibana. Well, is he? Okay, he's on Channel 1. Actually, we don't get anything in Channel 1 in this game. We might in the second one.
No, I've never... This is the first time I saw this character.
Okay, so Valor, he rides a spaceship. It resembles a magic carpet. So maybe he's not to that, and he's listening to the Jazz Hands case.
Under the Earthling category. So
you're right, so that's weird, but some of them look weird, like 88 Man.
88 Man I actually saw.
Okay.
Channel 88 reporter. Favorite scent oil.
Advanced AI and other special mechanisms are installed on him. So wait, they're saying he's an Earthling. They're saying here, no, he's not though.
Yeah,
He understands emotions. Or fine, maybe
I guess
the idea
they just had to stick him somewhere.
they had to stick him somewhere. Or also the idea that hey, he understands emotions, so that makes him quote that. They all move like Gumby. Okay, there's another case of that. For that, yeah, it's Gumby. Damn it. All right, Peter Pepper, which
I remember seeing this. Good.
I'm also gonna say this. I think this is a reference to Burger Time. You familiar with Burger Time?
Not terribly so.
Yeah, it's an arcade game from Data East from the 80s, where you're basically this cook in the kitchen. It's an insanely hard game, interesting enough. You have to basically crush
step on the burgers
and avoid the the lettuce and the hot dogs,
Yeah.
and use your pepper, which you have barely any of. I wonder if maybe they're getting that case, but yeah, he's fashionable boy, loves the older ladies, but not into the girls in school. I get the idea. Lucy LeBeau from Channel 5, so she's the information desk at Channel 5.
Okay.
She's constantly smiling. She makes the weaker people around uncomfortable with her stare.
And Sterling. Okay.
Yeah, which I think we do see him because yeah,
he was the guy who said, "Please stand by."
Right. He does his best to create enjoyable program. So he's basically the program producer, basically.
Yeah.
He's buying his time before asking her out. So okay, Ula's single.
He's got a crush.
Feasibly, I don't remember. We'll see this with Space Shuttle Flight Part 2 because next time we come back to this game, this franchise, we're hitting that one.
Prince Suzuki.
Main newscaster for Channel 5 and Ula. Him and Ula go way back. She doesn't know his Space Lizard collection, but maybe it's better that way. Maybe, potentially. Valala Petri. She likes drinking cola. Often her calls are misdirected to Ulala, the names are very similar. So Valala and Ulala, which is interesting. Alright, next, Sasha Charade, which I'm trying to think. There's like a famous fashion designer who I'm thinking that looks like.
She reminds me of Coco Chanel.
That's it, thank you. I knew, and it's not just that, because, as I mentioned, I was like watching old episodes of like the At the Movies, the Ebert Roper program, and also the years later, there's this movie called Coco Before Chanel, which is a biopic about Coco Chanel with Audrey Tautou from Amelie and Very Long Engagement, and also a movie I love that nobody's ever heard of called She Loves Me, or He Loves Me, He Loves Me Not. You're never going to get another stream that's ever going to mention that movie, which is amazing.
It's funny because looking at the character model and everything, I definitely get Chanel with the hairstyle and the kind of the demeanor in the still photo.
They probably had to, DollyFinn, you agree, okay?
But if you're looking at the outfit, it definitely is fitting with the 60s mod style.
Sure. No, yeah. I mean, maybe it's that idea, like the mix of the mod case and then Coco Chanel. Thank you, by the way, for picking up on that.
Because Chanel is very basic with the black and white color palette and everything. You know, she built a brand on it.
All right, her favorite words are "I do" because she's a newlywed. With her, hasn't told her husband of her many cats, hoping he won't mind. He probably won't.
She's a cat lady.
No, but that being said, like a cat lady being married, but then again, like also the retros thing with the dots. Yeah, Bluebell Smith, who's a space oracle. She's often considered crazy and insists she communicate with the gods, but she could.
She was released from the institution.
Going back to again the idea, you're saying like, is this necessarily a feminist game? Maybe in one degree, in the sense that, all right, it's fine. Okay, maybe it's not a feminist game, but I'll say, if nothing else, it's like a subversion twist in the sense that it's something of 60s. Because, like, back in the 60s, that idea, like, the thought of, like, you know, hysteria and the, like, the idea of institutionalization, which is also where, you know, certain adult toys came from. And we'll get that when we play Pokemon Gen 3 for a very specific reason. Love the 60s mod style. DollyFinn, we agree completely. I think it's also something that's unique, and it gives a different niche to that. Oh, but we got Pinky Petunia, who does nightclub dancing, so go dancer.
Yep.
Yeah, perfect sync right there. I love that when that happens. A cynic, she's kind to her family only. Owns a dog, her friends have never seen it. Everybody she wants to be about being accountants. So, which is interesting because she has to be a dancer, she has to put a happy face on. It was like, yeah, everybody's saying like,
I
no.
mean, listen, you gotta do something to keep the lights on.
I guess so. Madame LeBlue.
She's a hit woman.
We can assassinate. Yeah, we're getting, as I said, we're getting the full, you know,
Never in my
lore
life.
of Space Channel 5 this way, and I do love that.
I didn't know that there was this much backstory behind these characters.
But see, that's why it's worth going into this that much.
Space hippie.
Also, what is, oh wait, that's like Sarsaparilla, maybe like...
Spirulina? Ooh.
She also apparently is a smoker, so she chews herbal gum, so it's basically, I guess they still have Nicorette in the future. But she likes meditating. Sorry. What?
That herbal gum's referring to something else.
Yeah, going the 60s thing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, which actually, you know, like, they have that because they have, like, gummies for that nowadays.
Yeah.
I'm realizing. Okay, Yolanda Yankovic. She likes chamomile, it's a little different. Temperamental dame, she requires a series to submit long, tedious essays, which is considered B with them. Her father's eccentric, well-to-do hog farmer.
I can't.
I know. I love this. But I said, I'm discovering this too, because you're seeing the new indication on all these things. That means I haven't looked at these. It's not like I didn't want to, it's just that was the idea. Okay, boy 23, number 23 with 25 plet. He hasn't had a lot of attention. His siblings are now 8 years old and are driving their parents up the wall. He loves the color blue. Euclid Euphrates, is it?
Aphrodite.
Aphrodite, thank you.
There you go.
Yeah, see, I'm not always able to be, the most,
They took
eloquent.
some Greek influence on that shit.
I know, it's nuts, but I love it. A boy genius spends hours each day in his room. His parents think he's studying, but he's really plotting their demise?
I mean, listen, we gotta have a child murderer in there somewhere.
Oh, God! Oh, my. But as I said, we're getting this idea. I love it. She likes pine. Flavio Fumor.
So real quick, to go back to the spirulina,
Yeah.
it's almost like a, it's like a protein type deal. The actual definition of it, it's a biomass of cyanobacteria.
Okay.
It's safe for consumption by humans and animals.
Alright.
But it's used as like a dietary supplement or a whole food. So I guess it could be like blended into like a shake or a smoothie.
Okay.
I know that like if you were to get like from Pliables, you can actually add it into your food.
Okay.
So it's a good bacteria.
Alright, well, Flavio here, he gets lost on purpose to receive attention and is hasty and just tripping. He's a wheedling child with bruises. Although, let's go back to that. Yeah, he doesn't really have in his model that much, so at least there's that. I'm realizing there's a lot of, it's interesting. Yeah, it is. His match is the Institution escapee. I know, that's awesome. Alright, here's a space gymnast, Butch Aguirrela. He's now retired because of his injury. He works as a coach, but he doesn't like poodles. I'm okay on poodles. It's alright. It's either or, but it's like, fine, whatever. Jacob Kolofsky. Tries to fool women in his confident stance, his pretty teeth, but he's not been successful because he smells. So he's totally a swindler. Duran Dumont. His favorite activity is breathing. Yeah, that's a good activity
He
to have.
hates sunlight.
Yeah, he thinks it's odd looking. He's odd looking, but he thinks that makes him cool. Yeah, I mean, I guess you can see that with the model that way. And Yasmo, I believe, is the last of the Youthlings. A schmoozer who totes his cosmetic case where he goes. People often buy a product just to get rid of him, but he's very nice still. So yeah, they don't like the idea that he's a salesman, but yeah, that's the case. All right, yeah, dancelings. We saw the dogs. Let's see Roscoe.
Oh, this thing's Roscoe.
Actually, no. Oh, no, I didn't mention that. I thought she was mentioning something else, but no, she looked it up. I guess Roscoe the space dog, or this from the game. But yeah,
Belongs to a group dogma.
I love that. They question their ancestors living as pets under humans, so it's like the movie and the book Good Boy. Familiar with that one?
No.
Which people hated, but I don't hate it totally, but it's weird and kind of cliche in some ways. Yeah, he likes to be stroked, but is in emotional conflict. He has many brothers, a bunch, as we saw when we rescued them.
Yeah, there are 3 others.
Alright, so next is the rescue police. Charge of saving those victimized in outer space. Plan A for overthrowing the Morolians, but it didn't go quite well. That was where we came on. And yeah, the space tourists, as we saw. Gathering information, upcoming real estate deals, buying large amounts of land to buy out to foreign corporations. And they'll be protected from viruses with spacesuits.
Ooh.
So it's like the idea I'm thinking of, the land case, I'm thinking like L.A. Noire, if you played that. There's like a part of that game to that. There's
It's
something
a
else
little
you're
too real, let's put it that way.
I get that idea,
Yeah,
maybe.
Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, by the way, this is the grandmother, Brandy Smith.
Oh, okay.
She's the space grandma.
Space Grim. Her favorite trees are nuts.
Yeah, an intriguing, playful grandmother. She likes to hang out with the space hippies, and her daughter always worries about her. As far as who her daughter is, looks like Ronald McDonald, or...
Yeah, the color scheme, definitely.
Yeah, I get that. And we played the Ronald McDonald game, or one of them, anyone on the show. The McDonald's Treasure Island Adventure, and there's technically 2 others you could show, which are MC Kids, which is on NES from Virgin Interactive, and then Global Gladiators, which is on the Sega Genesis as well, by Shiny. People made Earthworm Jim and the Genesis game on Aladdin and Wild 9. You play Wild 9?
No.
Oh, it's awesome. On the PlayStation.
Have I think I might have seen it being played, but I don't think I ever played
I want
it.
to show that. That game is so cool and unique. E. Arthur Schultz, so he is the space captain. I thought the last one was looking that way. Okay, so actually, wait, let me go back to that.
With the stripes on the space tourist.
Yeah, yeah, do you believe in magic indeed? Alright, so E. Arthur Schultz, let's take a look at him. He's a dashing man, a loving husband, father of 2 loving daughters, and when he's not flying spaceships, he's a fiction writer. So yeah, he definitely has his take to that. Here's the space businessman we saw. With that, he was not able to save. He wonders if time is running after him or if he's running after time. and he apparently is gonna talk about getting real. He apparently has a health condition that way, as far as clogged arteries, as far as it. Hopefully he will be okay. And here is the Kung Fu guy, Zhao Jinglun. He was originator of the shooting star kick and defeated many opponents working in action films and appears regularly in cooking shows and gotten popular. So, I was wondering maybe that's like a take on... I think the Iron Chef was around in 2000, I think.
Yeah.
So maybe they were pulling that, potentially.
He's got to be based off of something.
I would think so, and the robots. Or the police bots, I should say. The reason that the guard's just like Ed 209 in RoboCop, except instead of in that movie where they get shooting, you know, the guy and they keep cutting back to the fact that he's getting torn apart in bloody chunks, which makes that movie so amazing, by the way. Have you ever seen RoboCop?
Not the whole thing.
Yeah, not
Apparently not that part.
Also, not the uncut version, because actually they did. I think it was originally an X-rated movie, and they edited it down to an R rating. But where they re-air it on like premium cable or re-released it, it is that X-rated version we're seeing. Like they cut back like 5 times.
I think
to
I was
that.
too young when it came out to like sit and watch it and be actually interested.
And also, it's not only a movie for kids, even though they market it to kids, and even though their games feasibly based on it, most of which are awful, except for RoboCop versus the Terminator, particularly the Sega Genesis version, which is bloody as hell, and it's supposed to be amazing. Alright, yeah, they do stand guard, in emergency situations, replace their bodies, and get things under control. Alright, and
Diva.
Amy Amania, who looks, as I said, I think the Donna Summer thing, I'm getting that off of her, but I've also heard other cases. She's not always an insecure lass. She's never shown signs of aging. They're thinking she might be androgynous, potentially, but then again...
Don't know how the two are related.
Who was?
Because she has never shown signs of aging, there have been rumors that she might be androgynous. What does one have to do with the other?
Good point.
Nothing.
Because you would think that, maybe that's
androgyny has nothing to do with age, like...
So maybe that's like a translation case or what. We do have the musicians, Rockabilly, who is the guitar
Your
player.
favorite.
Yeah, I love that. I just love the way they give that... Nothing. Yeah, so yeah, she agrees.
Yeah,
what does that have to do? Yeah, who knew that we got the case? It's an odd caption. Yeah. But I mean, if nothing else, it's also going into what we saw at the beginning. What did you point out? You said there's a typo, number one. Sure. And number two is like, okay, what are these? Because I have not actually read all these. So this is how we're getting 3.5 hours of this game, by the way. Dedicated musician produces riffs out of this world, they are. Grinded wood pudding for years, but she doesn't like how he smells. They said,
What is with these smelly space guys?
Yeah, I mean, it's... to quote the song Read a Book, I'm trying to remember the artist who did that, saying, it's speed stick, it's not expensive. Although I'd use, I guess to get a little personal this way, I'm an Old Spice man myself, but either or. Yeah, the jazz man's testifying, indeed, here's Cold Heat Malone. Though he's dedicated his job with truth distribution, he loves the saxophone more than anything. Yeah, not Prince, or, Prince, well, that might be a thought too. They might even have an idea of, like, Prince, of Purple Rain fame, and, like, Little Red Corvette and things like that.
I definitely see more, I don't know, I see more down.
I see what she's saying. She's saying that there might be a Prince take to Amy Amania. On top of, I said Don Summer maybe, or the last guy, so that would be this guy, Rockabilly. No, you're right. With Rockabilly,
yeah. Okay.
So this is why the idea of the chat case, like they'll comment on things and then they do.
All
next
missing
one
is assless chaps.
I know, that's an image. Yes. I love that too.
I mean...
It's great.
I don't know much about Prince because I'm not a Prince fan, but...
I've listened to some cases, it's weird. I've heard certain things, it was like, I was kind of, in some degrees, but Purple Rain, that's great.
I've seen my share of drag queens make fun of him.
Okay.
So, that's
I know you're a big one on RuPaul's Drag Race, by the way. And I did, by the way, see that thing you pointed out to me, the take on the match game, which is amazing, by the way.
I knew you'd love it.
Yeah, because me loving the match game case. And unfortunately, there's not a match game we could play, or a RuPaul game we could play, which is like, I wish there was. Someday, maybe. Alright, this is Brack. Not to be confused with Brack from the Brack Show, which you mentioned. Yeah. Love that show. Okay, so DollyFinn is a fan of, I don't know, we mentioned like 3 shows in a row. Yeah, right. RuPaul's Drag Race, match game, RuPaul Show. Oh, so we have chat fan.
You my people!
There we go. So there you go. See, told you. There's that idea. Obsessed with the need to keep a beat. Here was the Merlian drummer boy we got. He keeps the beat and does the drumming on that. And here's keyboard girl, Ambrosia de Fibula. Yeah, she likes B flat. With fingers like magic, she strokes the keys like no other, has a penchant for singing in the rain. There's a reference right there, love that.
Alright.
And enjoying herbal baths. And then lastly, oh fine, no, there's two more. There's the bosses and there's the Merolians. So there's individual Merolians on top of that plurp. I love that sound there. He's a spiritualist. If you see something floating in the air, he stops and stares. Some people say he's blessed with foresight, but others think he's full of it. Cred, short-tempered and hasty, despite his appearance as though he loves small animals as pet mouse. He found the duck in the spaceship. So, the space mouse.
There you go.
Which I did not know that. Specifically. It says, hasn't been tamed yet, he feels a bit sad, but he has a mouth like a sailor. So it's like, but we don't hear it because, of course, you have the Merolians going that sound of that.
They
It's like,
kind of sound like Cubert.
yeah, actually, that's a good thought of that, and even like the look of it.
Which is really funny because when you fail a Cubert level, he curses.
Yeah, and
So-
and I remember the movie Wreck-It Ralph turned to the idea like they can't understand
Yes.
that what he's saying. It's like what's going on with it, and then they have this is a bad movie, a very bad movie, Pixels, with Adam Sandler. But
Yeah.
the best part of that movie is Hubert in it because what they do is they actually have him. I did go see this movie because like, is this movie really worse than
I watched some on a plane.
Yeah, I watched it in the theater. Gumby. Okay, actually, this looks like Gumby that way.
Like legit, yeah.
But to go to the thing quickly with Pixels that way, the best part of the movie is Hubert, because they actually have it, because it's a Sony movie, they have a Sony theming, the kid is playing The Last of Us.
Yeah.
And they have Hubert going there, so like shaking in terror, saying, so much blood. So I'm like, okay, that was funny, I'll give him that much. So it's like, I can find good in anything, even though it's like something I give a 1 star to. And it was not the worst comedy of the year. I had to see Hot Pursuit, for God's sake. I mean, yeah, nothing was worse than that as far as a comedy that year. Except Pitch Perfect 2, there's another story. Okay, so Grom, he wants to touch the soil and is often digging without reason. He's an environmentalist. He began digging the path to the secret base, but he's kind of slow and hasn't completed part of his mission. So he's trying to dig to the center of the earth, so he's the Jewels of Urntake. Cool, intelligent, he's invented the dancing beam, so that
It's
A-button
his
beam.
fault.
And he has a low body temperature, which I guess with the look of him, yeah, he's icy. He's ice cold dog, as the kids say. Blundering and mischievous Yaru, which I almost wonder if that's a take on, you familiar with the band Yazoo? That was the band of, oh god, what's the name of the one who did, Alison Moyet, who did Love, Resurrection.
Okay.
Which I realized is a massive song about sex. But it's like, I've been playing Grand Theft Auto Vice City stories, they have them on the soundtrack, and they have Don't Go by Yazoo as well. I wonder if that's a reference to that, might be. But anyway, blundering and mischievous, he's good at acting as he, with a space there.
Huge gap.
As he, gap line, wishes, plays gun battles with the dancing beam, but being overconfident with the girls. Oh, so yeah, like the Ghostbusters take up, I hear it likes the girls. Pronk. Okra, that's like what?
Okra's like a yellowish.
A yellow, okay. He's shy, fine, the top there, so that's that idea. He's shy and hates being alone. He feels more relaxed when playing elevator music, or when that's playing to him, while his home lined with velvet red. The leader is Clork. He's on the front lines, and his is one of the hardest that way. He's like giving us the smacking that way. On the front lines, troops fear him, and knowing deep down he yearns to be female and is very sensitive. Which, okay, I did not know that was in this game. An interesting idea to that as well, and I guess
That's
for
some
22.
progressive shit.
Yeah, we're 22 years ago. That was that idea. And see, this goes to the idea, like, the backstory is like, I guess, as we mentioned, this game, and I guess Metal Gear Solid 2 were games of that era, were predicting the future to some degree. Alright, so the boss of the Merolians here is, he planned this apparently. Oh no, he's the guy in the cutscenes we see, so
Yes.
why didn't this work?
And he's the last Merolian that you have to hit with the beam. before
Yes,
you fight
indeed.
Evola.
So he's also very ticklish and loves watching television, which is, I guess, where he gets the idea. Okay, that's the last of the Merolians. And last of the bosses, which we have Coco Tapioca, we saw on the first stage. The first invading dance robot appears with the launch pad. The ring beam lit creates its horns. The line dance robot keeps its body or something to be cautious of. Oh, okay, fine. I forgot to realize this. You can do rotations of them around with D-pad. I did not actually realize that until I just accidentally pressed the button and hit the X button to basically put away the text. You just have to hold down the X button and that happens. Or, okay, fine, hit the Y button and it goes just into the text mode. And then A is, okay, A recenters him. Oh, okay, you can zoom in and out with the left and right triggers.
Damn, alright.
Analog stick does nothing. Start does nothing, and B goes back. Okay, so that's the other reason I'm glad we looked at that. So Merlina, also going to zoom in on her. She's sent by them to attack the luxury spacecraft G. Dirty-minded, she used the tongues and arm as the weapons. And she's already space children, she must attack very carefully. Yeah, dirty-minded, yeah, there you go. There's your, cases. I mean, okay, you could also say, I said the tentacle thing, sort of, that the second one does. I guess you could sort of say with Merlina in this one a little bit. kind of.
I mean, well,
But it's subtle. I didn't pick it up on the way I played it.
I
when
always
first
got a
played.
gross, kind of weird vibe from this one. Because,
Would you necessarily think sexual?
Yeah, because that's where my mind tends to go.
I mean, even at the time, though, would you necessarily think that?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean...
Being the fact that I was, 10 or whatever when I played this, yeah, I still went there.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, she literally wraps you in her tongue. I'm not gonna say much more than that.
Well, also, as Eula even points out, saying, even the low-pitched way she said, it's slimy.
It's just gross.
But there you go, that's the idea of that. Alright, here's Merolian Monroe, exclamation point, by the way. Here's Report 3, emerges from the television, attacking 3 stages. Attack is transformed, made too tough to fight against by a single person, which is true. Evila, your favorite. Let's definitely get the look of Evila that way. In fact, feasibly, we can do the perspective of, seeing, the look that way, because you're saying, what's the color? There's the eye of how she's dancing. She is basically Ulala, is, I think, pretty much her animation. Modeled after Ulala, to raise the viewership, dominates the Space Channel 5 police spot and challenges Ulala, and is quite powerful, but yeah, you made her look like nothing. And then here's Giant Evila, who's in, the big dress of
Wearing
Ulala running,
Ulala's costume.
which I love that. A gigantic robot controlled by cheap blank of Space Channel 5, can Space Railway Station, Airster beat hostage, and Fuse is trapped inside. If you attack, shoot opposite directions, and move back to the really close-up. So yeah, the extreme close-up for all of the Wayne's World people in the audience. And then, yeah, Blank's television. Okay, that's weird. It's just his TV.
Yeah, they don't show the full...
Broadcasts a brainwashing program controlled by him. Resides inside Giant Evilus and signals ends of the galaxy using the frequency from Channel 5 for the purpose of that. And I think... Yeah, so that is all of your character profiles, and also the player statuses. You do get elements as far as when you run through, saying what's your maximum rating when you have rescues, your best record when you run through the stage. Stuff the attribute belt. So, okay, it says the 74%. I guess that was the best ranking I got just going through without, running this specifically, because I think it will count the score when you save on the back of that. But, yeah, there you go. That is your retro take on Space Channel 5. Let's end on... What do you want to end on? End on Michael Jackson? Fine.
Yeah, why not?
We didn't know the zoom in on that. Let me do the zoom in on Michael
There
Jackson.
we go. Just have him walking.
Yeah,
Just chill it like that.
yeah, don't look back. Just keep on walking.
There we go.
Okay, so, yeah, there we go. That is Space Channel 5 for the Dreamcast. I mean, is there anything else you want to add to this game and your thoughts on it that we have not had, especially now that we went through all the character profiles?
I think we covered it all. I mean, granted, the lore is a lot deeper than I thought it was.
I like that it is. I'm happy it is.
Yeah, I mean, there's stuff about this game that I never would have... I thought it was just kind of surface level being a rhythm game, but...
Me neither as well, because, I mean, as I said, I'd seen some of these, but I also hadn't seen through all, and it is that idea of it. It's a great show. It was such fun. Thank you both. You're welcome, DollyFinn. Thank you for coming on the show. Thank you so much for coming on the show for this game. Thank you for being the debut. I think everybody was very happy to see that, and for you bringing your insight. Because I mentioned this before, as I go in the final element of this. When I've had guests on this program, whether it's been you now, but also with Nocturne and Protorova, and also Emetics is going to be next month at some point for Percy we've got, and we'll go in the scheduling as we go. But it's always, and here's the thing, and this is why I kind of want to have people, and DollyFinn has been on the show on top of that. She was in for Christmas Nights, and the first part of Sailor of the Story, which was on her recommendation. She wanted to see that. But for that, I realized when I've had people on the show, and also in the chat as well, but also on the show, the idea of bringing a different perspective to it, and I like where you're thinking and how you're thinking that's different to differentiate for what you're bringing to this. Because I said, everybody's telling a story, really, when it comes to gaming or anything. I think you're bringing that to it, and I thank you so much for the purpose of that.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. And here's the thing. I'm glad you had fun.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing is that he is going to be back next week, and actually he's going to be on this show every month for the next year. Why? I mean, that's the thing. You're kind of surprised, I guess, to that.
I'm not, but I just never really... We didn't say it out loud yet.
Well,
it's just funny.
I mean, I think I sort of maybe briefly did, but then I was like, well, now we can get to this because you're here now.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're part of the SuperOldGameSaturday family as it is, and we were very happy to have you. Yeah. All of you in chat, all of you on the show. It is not just a show I put on. It's not just my show. It is our show. It is your show because you're bringing stuff to this. You as well bringing stuff to this. The guest that is going to be unique and different. As I said, you're never going to see a play of any game we play quite like what this is. I'll promise you that, if nothing else. This might not be a massive show that's going to change the world, but that's the idea. I love the way both of you appreciate games that may be goofy but are totally fab. You know, and I think that's the idea with this one. But it's going to go deeper than that because specifically, as I mentioned, he will be on next week. I'll go to the schedule in just a second, but final thoughts on Space Shuttle 5. You can put another one if you want. Mine is that this is a great game. If you haven't played it, and it's on the PlayStation 2, the Dreamcast, and the Game Boy Advance. It's expensive on the Game Boy Advance, so I'd say get it on the PS2 or the Dreamcast, like $40 on Dreamcast. I'm seeing like 30 for the one on the PS2, which has both games in it.
Yeah.
I like it better on the Dreamcast personally because of some of the emulation things with it, but it's still not a bad version on PlayStation 2, and you get the second game, but the lag case question, and that's on their system as well. And next time we come back to Space Shuttle 5, we will be doing that second game. Like, yeah, I think we both have to be involved in that.
Yeah.
For sure, and thank you to that. Okay, so let's get into the schedule, because the Christian Nerd 64, as he is now known, is going to be on the show next week, because we're starting the next Zelda game. One of the initiatives this year has been, we're running, the Zelda games from Nintendo 64. Proto was with me for Ocarina of Time, and good night to you, DollyFinn. Yeah, we'll finish this, and then it'll be a good night to the show. I said to you, I think last September, I said, I want to do this year. I said, do you want to call dibs on Majora's Mask? You're like, please.
Yep.
I'm like, okay. So, yes, we're going to be playing The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Zelda rocks. Okay, so Dolly, you're a fan of Zelda as well. That one especially, I loved Ocarina of Time when we played. I think we might have an even better one, potentially, in this. As great as Ocarina of Time is, and it's a terrific game, but yeah, just a little more, or even a little better as far as Majora's Mask, and you're going to be in on that for next week. Yep. He's going to help me play, excuse me, he's going to be helping me play that game, by the way, or helping us play the game. We're going to alternate off. I believe the idea is that we're going to be pretty much doing on parts, sort of, but also at certain parts. I know you want to do the first dungeon and the third dungeon. No? Yes?
Second and third.
Oh, fine. Second and third. Okay, so fine. We'll alternate off for that for part one, and then I'll do the first dungeon, and then I'll do the fourth one later. But we'll kind of alternate that. We are going to be using, even though it's a Nintendo 64 game, we're going to be using the Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack to play it, because it's one of the few Nintendo 64 games on that was emulated correctly, to the point where they actually fixed an emulation problem that the Wii U version had. Which it's late in the game, without spoiling it. There's a cutscene right near the end of the game that they didn't delay right on the Wii U. They did on the Switch. They actually injected the code into that for the emulator for the purpose of that. So, because of that, that's what I'm saying. Okay, we're fine with that. So, next week we're going to start that. It's going to be each month, again, as we've been doing, until we finish it. I think it's going to be about 6 months for that one. Yeah, we're starting Majora's Mask 4 next week. The week after that, I'm going back to The Legend... fine. We're doing Zelda next week. I'm going back to Sailor of the Story, the RPG we're currently playing. I got my ass kicked by the LPC essentially. That sin cannot stand. So I've got some level grind to do. We're going to keep going. I don't think we finish it for that part. We're going to finish it in July, early July. We're actually going to come back to that 2 weeks after we do it. So 2 weeks from now is when we're going to do what I think is going to be the finale in that. And at the end of July, Amedix is coming in for Parasite Eve for the PlayStation. But the week after we do Sailor Moon Another Story for its next part, we're playing Super Mario Land 2 6 Golden Coins for the Game Boy. I was requested that by chat. I believe Lectors wanted to see that. So we're going to run that. You play that game?
Yeah, that was actually one of the few that I actually played on the Game Boy.
It's a great game, and we had our fun with Super Mario Land 1 last November, and it's another one worth looking at the YouTube site for if you haven't seen it, either chat or to you. So we're going to do that in a couple weeks, and that's going to be fun. When a pretty open Mario game for Game Boy and get more portable representation. And July's plays are going to be, as I mentioned, the end of Sailor Moon Story, the beginning of Parasite Eve. We're going to continue on with Majora's Mask, and then, you know what, fine, let's go into the rest of the summer, because why not? Because that's already kind of set in stone. I've told you this. Basically, I have pretty much every show set up until December. Yep. Pretty much. But for July, the other two games I'm going to do are, chat wanted to see Tetris 2 for the Super Nintendo. You play that? Actually, you can play it now because of what we're doing with their Super Nintendo Classic Edition units. But, yeah, Electverse wanted to see that. Electverse's mother also wanted to see that, because she was in when we did Warriors Woods a couple weeks ago. Okay. She's a big one on that, even better than he said. And we had a great time as far as that game. So, we're going to play Tetris 2. The Super Nintendo version is also on Game Boy and NES, but Super Nintendo is where I played it. It's where I wanted to be playing it, being asked for, and where I have it. So, that'll be it. And Nocturne's going to come back on the show. We're going to play Aladdin for the Sega Genesis. We're going on that earlier. It's Shiny who developed it. And there's cases for that. I don't think we're going to have a licensed case of it, because it's like the Gems audio driver for the sound, so I think it'll be fine, but we're looking forward to that. And then in August, every show in August is going to be a guest star at this juncture. Nice. Emedix for the next part of Parasite Eve, which is going to be a 3-part run, by the way. You for the third part of Majora's Mask. Nocturne is going to be in for a game, DollyFinn, I know you want to see Sonic Mania. We're celebrating its 5th anniversary in mid-August. And then the end of the month, Proto is coming back. We're playing GoldenEye for the Nintendo 64 to celebrate its 25th anniversary. We're about anniversaries on this program. And I'm looking forward to next week. And also, one other thing, I probably should mention this. In October, we'll be playing. I think you should do the honors. Tone.
Yeah.
Again, because I mentioned before.
I talked Captain D-Trag into playing one of my favorite games in the world. Little known gem called Shadow Hearts.
Yes, for the PlayStation 2, and give it more love, give it more attention. Maybe in the next couple weeks when that PlayStation Plus Premium comes up, it might be on there. We don't know, but
Shooting for a remake.
Maybe someone will listen. They've listened to the show for stuff somehow. I mean, we were talking about Chrono Cross getting a re-release next week. They said, okay, by the way, here it is.
Yeah, here's Radical Dreamers.
Here's Radical Dreamers. Or when I talked ActRaiser one episode, like a week after, like, here's the remake of that. Great. So I'm like, okay. As I said, I'm not saying necessarily I have a connection that way, but just like maybe someone saying, like, hey, this is a good idea.
It's the vibes.
It's the vibes, maybe. I mean, yeah, can you dig these vibes? And, you know, like the 60s perspective, like, you know, that idea is like, you're right, the vibes. And definitely the vibe on this game for sure. With Space Michael, you know, showing his stuff. Alright, I guess feasibly subconsciously telling us to beat it, but I was like, yeah, we will be beating it until next week. Okay, that sounded really wrong. I love hearing about games I don't know. Okay, well, that's the other thing. And that's the thing with Shadow Hearts, because I've never played Shadow Hearts, but I'm so happy. Thank you very much, by the way, for agreeing to do this and also showing your story. Telling, like with this game, telling your story, telling why is this game important to you and why is it worth going after and why it's worth like the $130, $150 it costs now, which is not horrible price. It's not Kuon. It's not Real Rose. It's not Chulup. It's not something. It's not God Hand. It's not something.
It's not Kudelka.
It's not Kudelka.
That's for damn sure.
Which is prequel on the PlayStation 1, which you also own as well.
$300.
Yeah, that is quite a case.
Used.
Yeah, and there are cases like that. I mean, I am a game that's like $1,000 in Play for a Sculptor's Cut, but yeah, we'll definitely give that perspective. But all right, so. Thank you again for coming on the show. That is going to be it for Super Old Game Saturday for this week. We will see you next Saturday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the same time, same channel, for Part 1 of The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Until then, thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. Keep being awesome. Keep being strong. Thank you. We will see you next week. Thanks again. I just can't say it enough. And take care.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Talk to you next week.